What's going on, everybody? It is another fantastic Sunday. Sorry, I say that today's fantastic, even though it's really fantastic Friday when we do things with Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time. It's still a fantastic day. We'll call it Super Sunday. Lots to talk about today. We did a ton of content this week, lots of fun stuff, some pretty serious stuff. But I know that we've spent the last couple of weeks talking a lot about rehabs, product choices, things along those lines. And so that's what I like to try and help folks out with, and even just general real estate investing questions. I know there are a ton of folks out there that have questions about investing in real estate, and I do that. So, and I'm pretty good at it too. Invest to Wealth, good morning. Good morning. I see some folks filing in. And if you're wondering why I look so tired, it's because my 3-year-old believes that he is the next Karate Kid. And he likes to come in and prove that to me at 2 o'clock in the morning when I can't strike back. So Samuel, I'm going to get you. So it's a lot of fun, but yeah, holy cow. Yeah, he's kicking my butt right now. It's true. So very true. So big week this week. Really exciting week because, as you guys know, I buy a ton of property. We've done 8 deals this year, 8 buys. 9 buys. We've done 9 buys this year. 9. Oh my goodness. Never would have guessed 9 buys this year. Ever. Never would have guessed 9 buys this year. But guys, bring your questions. There's no stupid question. There is absolutely no reason to not share. So I like to make sure to put myself on a skewer for you guys when we're doing a lot of the videos during the week. I make mistakes still, but I make a lot of good choices. So I'd love to spend some time with you guys talking about some of those good choices, talking about some of the bad ones, because I share it all. Complete transparency. That's the way we do it. But one of the things that I love the absolute most about what we're doing here on this channel is we are helping people get on the property ladder and helping people buy their next investment property. And so good friends of mine this week actually saw a property come on market. It was one that was actually on my radar. I looked at it and I said, wow, that's actually pretty well priced. Did the math real quick and I said, wow, that's really underpriced. And talked with them about it. She actually called me and I said, you know what? I think it's a killer deal and I think it's way underpriced. So we had that conversation and they went guns a-blazing. They just made that deal happen. So congratulations to them, to Tina and to Jeff. Congratulations, you guys. So excited that you guys got that property. And this property is, they could have paid 50 grand more than what they paid and they still would have crushed it in this deal. And it's because we talk about it all the time. Return on capital, which is basically the money that you make based on the cash that you're putting into a deal. It's a very simple calculation. Anybody else that tries to make it something more than that, quite frankly, is overcomplicating it. It's really just that simple. Every single thing that I buy in my portfolio has zero to do with appreciation, has everything to do with what cash flow is today and what my opportunity might be to increase the cash flow in that given property. So real quick, while we have some other people file in, a deal that I did last week that we put under agreement was, we put this deal under agreement, or put this 3-unit under agreement for $310,000. Admittedly, so that was a property that was on the market for $290, I think. We put it over for over ask because the numbers told us we should. I'm still going to make over 20% return on my capital. After taxes, insurance, mortgage payments, water, sewer, after landscaping and plowing for the wintertime, I'm still going to make over 20% on my money, but I'm also going to own the asset. The best part is I'll make 20% on my money. In the next year, with what rents are currently in that market, I will likely get to 41% on my dollars. 41%. That means the deal pays for itself in 2.5 years, guys. Where do you find deals like that, right? And so I'm in my market every single day and looking at these deals. And that's why I know what something is worth. It comes down to two very simple things. One, what is my cost basis? And two, what is my return on capital? What does that create for me for cash flow? Guys, if you're doing anything more than that, you're really overcomplicating the process. It just doesn't need to be that difficult. So as I always say in the beginning of my live streams, I am working on Sundays. We love to do this, but we also have contractors in the field that we are paying to work. We work with a lot of guys that have licensure and then they do stuff on the side for side hustle. We love those guys because, quite frankly, I get a better price and I still get the same quality product, and they get to fund a beer fund or fund a vacation fund. And I love guys like that. The hustle, they're just like me. We all work weekends and late nights. In fact, last night was a very late night. I was putting together I'll try and share how do I share? I can't share that picture. Last night, I was putting together a 2 horsepower, so tandem 1 horsepower sump pumps to handle any calls that we might get today about a basement having gotten water, because sometimes with the torrential rain that you get at night, like we got last night, sometimes that happens. So that being said, you will see me look at my phone. You will see me pick it up as such, and you will see me respond to messages just because they are on the clock, and I have to make sure that they have what they need. All right. Cool. All right. So let's get into some questions. Lots doing. All right. So Invest to Wealth. Good morning. Good morning. Janet Santiago. Good morning. Good morning to you, Janet, as well. Tamika. Good morning. Tamika, man, I hope you're bringing some good questions like you did last weekend. Now I have to come to expect it of you because you do the same thing on one rental at a time. Same exact. I love it. Absolutely love it. Death Angel PR2, morning. Hope your daughter was doing well. Thank you very much for asking. Tomorrow is a big day for us. We, Ashley and the baby came home from the hospital after she ran a fever after last week's chemo treatment. So they got back home finally on Thursday night, which was a huge blessing. We were so super excited. Everyone was so super excited to obviously have them home. We go in tomorrow for a scan to see if we have made any dent in the cancer that she has. And so, yeah, really excited to see that scan tomorrow. And, we continue to pray for the miracle that we believe is going to come. And so we appreciate all your thoughts. We appreciate all your prayers. We know that prayer works. And so we're grateful for that. Again, if you've never seen this channel, hit me up with a question. I won't make fun of you. I might make fun of you. I probably won't make fun of you. I probably won't. Sorry, that's my seltzer water. I'm going to need that later. Keep the pipes loose because we're going 3 hours, kids. We're going 3 hours. Okay, more. So thank you, Death Angel PR2. My daughter is doing better. Excited for those scans tomorrow. Matthew Paris, why'd you cut your hairs? There, got my dumb question out of the way. I'm sure you have more. Just kidding. I cut them because I was supposed to get my hair cut before we went into quarantine. My daughter's on chemo, so we are quarantined because literally no one in the house was sick. She had the germ of a rhinovirus, and that gave her a fever that put her in the hospital for 6 days. So completely nuts. So we're completely shut down. We're only on the inside. Everything we do is, curbside, put it in the back of the truck, put it in the back of the minivan, that sort of stuff. So I won't bore you with all the details there. So I actually really needed a haircut badly and didn't get one before we went into quarantine, knew I couldn't go out and get one. And so it was just way too long. So I'm not a hairstylist. So I bought a pair of clippers and just went like this. So Matthew, that answers your question. Janet Santiago, always excited to be here in your channel. I live in LA. Want to move and invest in another place. What do you think about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? is a growing city to buy a duplex first time home buyer. So Janet, so I only talk about markets that I know. I don't know anything about Pittsburgh. I don't know anything about it. I couldn't begin to tell you what the median house cost is, what rents are. I have no idea. But one of the things that I would recommend is I think there's a company called, I think it's Roofstock maybe, and they've done a bunch of videos on specific markets. I would certainly look at some of their stuff. I don't know the quality of it, because they haven't done New Hampshire, surprisingly. But I would look at their stuff because they've obviously delved into the numbers. They share the numbers, and their numbers are, I got to believe that they're accurate. But I would look at Roofstock. I think that they have a pretty good, and at least that gets you going. Don't ever enter a market depending on somebody else's numbers. Do your own research, but use that as a place to get started, to really start to look. One of the things I'm going to actually cover today is a video that I've been trying to get the time to do. Obviously, we're crazy busy. But the video I've been trying to get the time to do is talking about specifically my original research that got me into the market and helped me pick the market that I picked today. Maybe that'll help you guys because it's not anything that I've seen from anybody else. So I think it's pretty hot content, and I expect that the like button will probably blow up when I start sharing that stuff because it is killer. It made me a ton of money. Just a ton of money. My rentals were 10 to 20% higher than everybody else's before our market hit a boom. And so I'm going to share that strategy with you guys in just a little bit after I start to get through some of these questions. So stay tuned for that. That is the Lumberjack Landlord strategy. That's not only house hacking, but specifically how I picked a market that was giving me literally 20+% returns. Just crazy. I'm just waiting for the guy that wants to say, I challenge you. Go look at the 2 videos I posted. I'll do those all day long. I'll bang you up because those numbers are rock solid. So Janet, I would look at like a Roofstock. And just to start to look at some of those markets and then take their analysis and then go deep with it. They go pretty deep, but just start to get a feel for it. The other thing too is I would never, ever invest in a market. For me, I wouldn't invest in a market remotely likely because I'm just so dialed in where I'm at. And I've got 3 markets or 3 towns that I do business in. But you need to be visiting there. It's tough to build a team remote. There's a ton of videos on it. Mike has it in his course. Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time. I self-manage, so anything that's more than 20 minutes away from my front door, I'm not really interested in, especially because we're in the Northeast and we get winter, and winter sucks. So yeah. So I would look at that, see if that helps you. I'd love to get your feedback on that because I've sent some people over there to take a look at their stuff, and it's pretty cool. Crimson Knight, good morning, Matt. Good morning, sir. Good to see you. Matthew Paris, guess what I'm doing today? Installing flooring from American Flooring Corp. No thanks to the stupid supply chain. Stupid shipping issues cost me 10 days of vacancy. Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to play topper, but I have to play topper. So if you guys didn't see the video, I did one with Mike. We were talking about windows. I don't know if what I said made it on. I think it might have been just a conversation I had with him off camera. So I just bought a 12-unit building. The 12-unit building that I just bought has 84 windows. 84 windows. So even if you figure between windows, installation, retrimming them out with nice trim, even if you figure all those numbers, let's just say it's 500. Yeah, you do the math. It's $42,000 I'm going to spend on windows in this building. Here's the crazy thing. So I've been calling around and I have, just like Dion, Dion talk on his live cast on this last Tuesday, a week ago Tuesday. Guys, you've got to watch that. That dude is awesome. I love working with him. We're definitely talking a collab project. I love working with that guy. I just so dig him. He is just the absolute salt of the earth, rock solid, just a good dude. I mean, honestly, like we'd hang out all the time if he lived closer. Well, I'd go over his house a lot and knock on the door and see if he would answer. But yeah, Dion's just the man. Love working with that guy. Live stream is just, yeah, he kicked live stream's ass. I loved it. I literally watched it from like 10 o'clock at night to like 11:30. It was like an hour and a half. So yeah, we're a lot alike. We've done a lot of the same things, and he just makes it look way cooler. So yeah, he's just the dude. But yeah, so shipping issues. So real quickly, shipping. So I sent that quote out to a bunch of different people, or sent that number out to a bunch of different people, and I got somebody on the phone. I was having the conversation with them, and she said, "What's your timeline? What's your timeline for install for these windows?" And I was like, "Well, I'd like to get them ordered, and I'd like to see them in 6 to 8 weeks, because I know that usually when I order windows before COVID, it was about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I can get any window." So I said 6 to 8, almost tripled it, right? Almost tripled it. In fact, largely did triple it. So I basically tripled the timeline, and she giggled. She giggled audibly on the phone. I'm like, why is she laughing? Her answer was, we can probably, right now we're quoting 30 weeks. 30 weeks. The hell am I supposed to do with that? My windows are 30 weeks out? What tenant's going to believe me that my windows are 30 weeks out? 0 tenants. So suffice to say, I said, there's nothing you can do about that. She goes, well, we're the number 1 replacement quality window around. That's great. That's great. Because one of them has a 0.2 worse energy rating. I'm going to wait 30 weeks? No. Sorry. Hard pass. So supply chain issues are very, very real. It is, I won't go off on a tangent on why they're occurring and why they're so bad. Because largely speaking, I think you know my feelings on this. But yeah, totally get it, Matthew. Totally get it on the floors. In no joke, I kid you not, I actually bought 15 grand, I think, worth of flooring. I think it was either 15 or 12. It's either 15 or 12, but I bought like 15 or 12,000 bucks worth of flooring for exactly that reason. When I got my shipment, I actually have a unit where I store a bunch of stuff just to make sure that I have it. That way, when it's ready for the next job, I've got stuff there waiting for me. So I spent, like 12 to 15,000 bucks on my flooring order to get that much product, because I didn't want to have that issue. And thank God that I did. Because if you waited 10 days, ay caramba, that'd make me cry. So sorry to hear that, but yeah, everyone's experiencing it. In fact, I have one that we've been waiting for 2 months for them to get the product back in. And it's just siding. 2 months. It used to be something that I could go in and order, and the order would be ready that day. Literally, you could take it with you. And now I'm 2 months into waiting for that. And it's not an unpopular color. It's like a nice, rich charcoal gray. So unbelievable. John Williams, good morning, Lumberjack. Good morning. I have a unit where the sink leaked a bit and hit the pergo floor. No mildew, but it did start to curl a bit. Would you replace it with the tenant in it or wait until turnover? Depends on how involved. I would probably, depending on how big the area is. Because what's really nice about those floors is that you can take like a multi-tool. All you have to do is, rip a piece literally in the middle, so rip the one next to the cabinet, but you just take a couple pieces out and then you piece it back in. And then where the lip is, hold on. So then where this click lip is, see that click lip? Yeah, see where that click lip is? You can literally back cut that so you can get it to drop in, and then you just glue this piece down in its place. That's what I've done, and it's worked out great in a number of places. So it really depends. It really depends. I think it depends on the tenant. There's some tenants that I would not do any work in the unit with them there. There's other tenants that are just like, yeah, I would love to see it fixed. Totally cool. So yeah, it really depends. I think for me, it really depends on the tenant. That's what I would tell you. So that's what I would look at. Janet Santiago, I would like to learn from you the different kind of loan options. Okay, we'll talk about loan options today. Oh, my kids were in my office. They so were. They took my book. Well, I had paper. This is here, loan options. All right, loan options. I'll definitely talk about loan options today because there are a ton of them. WT, good morning. Good morning. The Ramirez real estate team. Yesterday video, 100K buy one house outright or 4 with mortgages. It's a must watch for each single real estate investor. Thanks. Thanks, Ramirez team. Yeah, I think credit goes to Dion on that. He kind of unearthed that in my mind. We were talking about it, and he owns a property outright. And it was the first time I was ever able to, from my heart, tell Dion he was wrong about something, because I agree with the dude on pretty much everything. And he does a way better job of laying it out than I do. You can tell that guy's a teacher. Oh man, he is good. Yeah, loved. He really kind of brought that out because he owns a property outright, and he likes that. He likes owning the property outright, and I totally get that. The only thing that does, it might give you peace of mind, and that's good. If that's how you're built emotionally, it's good to know that about yourself and know that might be your best bet. But the thing you have to make sure you recognize is I invested through the .com bubble, and I invested through the 2008 crash. I know I don't look old enough to where I could, but I did. And because I was younger in my investment days, it almost blew me up. And so here can be the issue. When people are levering up their properties, and I think Dion even said this in the video, and check it out on his channel. When people are levering up their properties with debt, a lot of times because it's easier, they'll lever it up with a HELOC. When they lever it up with a HELOC, you are a second away from a Dear John letter saying, we've closed your HELOC because of market conditions. That's literally the email that I got. We closed your HELOC due to market conditions. The problem is when do you need the money? When the market conditions shift. When is there the most opportunity? When the market conditions shift. Guess what? You just got your money supply cut off. Now try and get a deal done. I had a high 7s credit score, and I had cash flowing property, and I had a 6-figure W-2. I couldn't get deals done. I had one with Wells Fargo. It took over 100 days. Sorry. But it took over 100 days to get that deal done. 100 days, over 100. And I already had my house rented out. I had to keep on going back to them, asking for an extension. I ended up having like a month's rent for credit. That situation sucked. And the whole problem was because those banks were getting crushed. And we never know, we truly don't know, right? Exactly who the healthiest banks are. We think we know. But we thought, WorldCom was a world beater. We thought Health South was a world beater. And so I just think that my recommendation in that video was basically, instead of owning one outright, use the 25% down or the 20% down because you're under, and you can even get better loan terms than that. That's just if you're FHA. If you're conventional, you can get better loan terms than that. And then just don't go too fast because they want to see the property start to season and not you get too many properties all at once. I had to convince the bank with the number of deals that we did that I could handle absorbing that many properties and I've been doing this for years, and they have millions of dollars of loans with me. But that was a conversation that had to be had. I had to really have that conversation with them and say, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. We've done it all before, and here's how we're going to make it happen. But that video, I totally agree with the Ramirez real estate team, that video is the nuts. That really put it in black and white that, sure, you can own one outright, but that's going to drastically reduce your growth, drastically reduce the speed in which you get to financial freedom. But anyway, that's just my view on it because, like I said, I think there are some folks out there that would much rather just own one outright. And I'm totally cool with that. I'm just saying, look at the other side of it. Because I always, in any argument, I look at both sides and then kind of make my decision from there of what fits best. I must have said something unkind because we just dropped like 10 viewers. But that's okay. Come on back. It's fun here. Let's see. Janet Santiago, happy heard your daughter is doing much better. Blessings from Los Angeles. Thank you very much. And you are praying for her. We know. My daughter has cancer. She's going through chemo. And we appreciate each and every prayer. And we are going in for MRIs on Monday to see how she's doing after all the treatments. So we are extremely prayerful and excited to actually get through tomorrow and see what it is. Crimson Knight 921. In all seriousness, how much you set aside each night for COC fines? BS. You mentioned you kept getting fined hundreds of dollars on occasions. Yeah. So COCs. So certificates of compliance. One of the reasons that I got out of 3 units in one of the markets I was in, I'm now completely out of that market. I won't go into that market. That market has gotten my last dollar. But one of the reasons I got out of that market was there was something called a COC. COC stands for a certificate of compliance. That city has about 37. Last time I looked, and it's been years, but the last time I looked, they had 37 inspectors. 37. That's a lot of people to keep employed. I wonder what they're doing to keep that many inspectors employed. Well, let me tell you what they're doing. They do something called a COC, Certificate of Compliance. What it basically means is I think it's 3 years. Yeah. It's every 3 years. Excuse me. So it's every 3 years. They come and they inspect your property. When they inspect your property, they're looking for things that are degrading or need replacing. Give me an effing break. So anyway, the stuff that needs replacing. And the funny thing was, it was like, well, it was just like that 3 years ago. Why does it need replacing now? So I've had them do something as little as replacing a spindle to something as big as you have to side your house. No joke. In a historic district, you have to side your house. If you guys want to see what that house turned out like, the house turned out absolutely gorgeous. It was 333 Pearl Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Check out that house. That house was sexy as sexy gets. That house was beautiful. Old Victorian, converted, gorgeous. Absolutely love that house. Absolutely love that house. Love that project, but I had to get out of the city because that city did not want to work with contractors. That city did not want to work with me. That city, largely, I struggled with quality of tenant, even though that was a hard place for me to be in. Probably different market now, but that's the way it was for me then. But that certificate of compliance, what they do is they set you up, then they give you a list. And then if you pass, you're fine. If you don't pass, they give you a list of things to do. And then they basically say it's in violation, although they don't always cite the rule that says it's in violation. That's one of the really smart things that our legislature passed, is that if you're saying it's a violation, you have to cite the rule. That takes all the personality out of these inspectors that walk it and they just want to be jerks. They actually have to know the code. They got to know the code, so you can't just hire them off the street and they automatically are inspector. Nope, they have to know the code and they have to cite the code that specifically that violates. That's what's awesome about the state of New Hampshire. That's one of the things that's awesome. But that COC, every single time they would show up, they would charge you. I think it was 100. And Crimson Knight, you can correct me here. I think it was 120. No, 100 and it's like 100 and something bucks. It was like 130, 140 bucks, I think. Each time they would schedule the inspection only 4 to 6 weeks out, and you couldn't get it moved. If you moved it, they would automatically charge you because they didn't let you do that as a stall tactic. And it wasn't a stall tactic. Sometimes it just took that long to get contractors to freaking show up. But that's been crazy, especially through COVID. So one of the things to keep in mind is that COC, I literally had a COC dangling over my head. We got violated. We got violated. We had 10 violations in 1 year. And that was for the same 2 projects. We had 3 siding companies back out. We had, when one started, we kept on trying to get them back. City didn't care. So he was like, choose a better contractor. I'm like, seriously. So they got me that year. So at the end, we had to write a final check. And I want to say that check was like, at the time, I mean, it was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was like $1,600. It was a lot of money. And that was purely for delays that we had zero control over. So for what it's worth, those certificates of compliance. So your question, Crimson Knight. Yeah. I mean, The only thing I can tell you is when they give you the list, get the work done within those first 6 weeks. But I know that's just not always possible. I know it's just not always possible. It's just one of those things. So I don't know how much you'd set aside, but yeah, if you're having a year, so if you set aside, probably figure out what the fee is now and then set aside that fee every year. Then the third year that when you do it, if you have a couple of those delays, you'll be covered. But it's pretty inconsequential. I mean, if you're cash flowing in the double digits, you're not gonna feel it. You're not gonna feel it. It's just a pain in the ass. And it does add up over time, but it's really just about getting the work done. I think you're on premises or near premises. I was an hour away. So I would get a text I would text my siding guys, text, nothing, still nothing. I had to become friends with one of the tenants and just be like, listen, just tell me when they don't show up so I can start paying them heavy. Yeah, that was my nightmare. Angel R. Goat. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm all right. Death Angel PR2. Are banks still thinking and making? Yes, they are. The 40-year mortgage. Yep. Here's my theory on that. And again, take it from a 9th grade dropout, so it's worth about what you're paying for it. I think that they're trialing those 40-year mortgages with customers now getting out of forbearance and what they're doing for them and all that good stuff. They're talking about those 40-year mortgages. I'm actually going to do a Matt the Mortgage Guy from Mike's channel and from his own channel in his own right. We're actually creating the Lumberjack course, and I have a session that I'm going to do with him specific to the 4-3-2-1 strategy. So we're going to talk to him about that next week. So yeah, so I think the 40-year mortgage is definitely a thing. Oh my goodness, Dion talk financial freedom. Howdy, Dion. I didn't even see you here. Hopefully you're here for all the nice things I said about you. Like I said, Dion's the man. I love that live stream. I thought he was just so good on it. And I said at the very beginning, we're definitely going to do a collab together, like a live stream collab. I've never been so wrong in my life. I can already feel it. I've never been so wrong. Angel R, with windows and roofs replacement, do you depreciate over 27.5 or do a write-off? I honestly don't know. I leave that to the CPA. And the reason that I leave that to the CPA is because he has the entire structure of our entire portfolio. And so my guess is the answer to that is yes. And the reason I say that is because some years he does one thing, other years he might change and do something different. And the reason for that is because based on the year that we've had, do we acquire a lot? Do we sell a lot? Do we have a lot of, net gains? Do we need to knock that down a bit? Obviously all above board, all on the up and up, but I leave that to him to say, yes, we should take it this year. And then what he does, he looks at the entire thing and then calls me back and says, okay, I have these 2 or 3 questions or 5 questions. And we spend a half hour on the phone. We go through those few questions. He's like, okay, yep. All right. I know what we're going to do here. This is the right, clean way to do it. Because that's the one thing I always tell him. I say, clean, keep it clean. Look horrible and horizontal stripes, just keep it clean. I was audited quite a while ago, probably like 10 years or so ago. I was audited. And no issues. Or what was it? Oh no, there was it was like $300 on a massive return. It was $300. And had they just come out and started and said, hey, we want you to pay this $300, I would have just said, fine, I'll pay the $300. Because it cost me more than that in time. Know thyself first. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Matthew Paris, Dion is a beast. Yeah, no kidding. Love working with that guy. I love working with Mike too. Honestly, I'm super blessed to work with the 2 guys I spend the most time with. I love it. It's so much fun. And we're different. We're different enough to make it interesting for each other. So I love working with those guys. Crimson Knight 921. Yeah, my flooring is arriving Tuesday, about a week late. Okay, Cool. Yeah, keep me posted on that stuff because I'm actually still ordering. I'm actually prepping for another order from those guys. And sadly, there's just literally nothing that they can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. I'm all about holding vendors accountable, but when they're being told, hey, the ship is going to be at this time and then it doesn't come in, what are they supposed to do? We need to know as business owners, supply chain sucks right now, i.e. 30 weeks for Windows. It's just a joke. Crimson Knight, but won't use it until December. Yeah, Crimson Knight. So Crimson Knight did exactly what I did. Really smart, if I do say so myself. Really smart. Order it ahead of time if you can. Understanding it might be a challenge to store it somewhere, but yeah, order it ahead of time. That way you know you're going to have it because, yeah, those supply chain. In fact, what was it? Kitchens? No, doors. Doors were usually 3 to 4 days on doors. We were usually 3 to 4 days on doors. Excuse me. We were 12 on the last set of doors. Yeah. And the problem for us is we like the just-in-time model in certain instances. The problem for us is that when we're doing a construction, we're lean and mean and fast. And so we end up getting stuck with material that ends up getting in our way, which is a huge pain in the ass. Because you guys know contractors do nothing but scream when they have to move stuff around. And I get it. They're there by the job price to make money, and it's tougher to do when there's stuff in the way. So we always go out of our way for our guys, and we feel bad when that stuff happens, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. Angel R, politicians destroying America. Oh, I can't say anything about that. I'll say a little bit about that. It's math. It's math. I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. But you have to vote the math, I think. 6%. I was talking about it with Mike because he's the economist. I'm not. It's just what I recognize. And the math is, so yeah. Everybody has the right to vote, and whoever wins. But it does make it tough, and I know that you're torn as a landlord, right? You're torn as a landlord because of inflation. You can charge more, you make more money because you have 30-year fixed rate debt. But I hate saying no when somebody doesn't qualify just on the financial side. Man, that sucks. It sucks. Because I love being able to give people the place that they get into before they move into their house. That's kind of what we specialized in. And it's hard to deliver that no when you've got other folks that are just a better fit or for whatever reason. And, I have this one old tenant that texts me every 60 days and says, hey, if you can find a unit that's this configuration, I can do 1,100. And I was like, 1,100 was the price 3 years ago. That's a $1,500 unit now. And I was like, so you'd have to move the town north and you're still going to pay 10% more. No, that's just not what we can do. We'll just have to stay where we are. So they've had to stay where they are for some time. So yeah, I think we got to sit down at the table. I think we have to listen to each other, but I think we also have to let math intrude on the conversation because we are on an unsustainable financial path. And I would, even though I have a lot of fixed rate 30-year fixed rate debt, I also have some adjustable debt. That's my commercial stuff. I would still like to see the Fed do the right thing and start to pull out of the market, start to taper, because that rate does need to go up. And really just kind of slow things down the right way. We've been sowing the seed to the wind, and it looks like we might reap the whirlwind. I'm just very interested to see what that looks like. Angel R, I make 4.8K a month from my W-2. Very good. Net. We only talk net here. Gross is gross. So I'll assume it's net. This year I bought 2 duplexes, 25% down on each. Cool. total mortgage monthly cost, $1,800, and gross rental income on 1 year lease is $4,470. What's your net? Let's talk net. Sorry, guys, super thirsty. Yeah, so we talk net, and the reason why we talk, so it's fine to talk gross, but we need to put it in perspective with net because that's the number that really matters. So I know a lot of companies, right? Hospital's a perfect example. A hospital does $24 billion in a year. A hospital system does $24 billion in a year. You know what their margin on that might be? 2%. So it's 2% of 31 billion, but for 31 billion, it's 2%. See what I'm saying? So that's why I like to talk about net. Matthew Paris, I still struggle with emotionally. I have 2 properties paid off and still argue with myself daily about paying off a third before purchasing another. Growing up poor and a natural saver, my curse. So Matthew, I get it. Lived there, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Grew up not with very much money, single mom. Forget about living paycheck to paycheck. We lived debt to debt. Like that's just was the way that we did it. So yeah, I think that's I get the, saving and trying to, and by the way, that's gray hair. I get it. And that's why I would never make fun of anybody for, keeping paid off properties, but man, you are missing massive opportunity, just massive opportunity you're missing. Even if you just don't even lever them up 70%, lever them up 50%, lever them up 50%, yeah, lever them up 50%. So I did, in the interest of full disclosure, I did 8 property refinances in August. And I levered all of those properties 70% loan to value with cash out refis. I created $1 million. I created $1 million in cash, over $1 million that I've been spending. If you haven't been watching the channel, and buying a bunch of other properties. So yeah, we're in full growth mode. If it makes sense now, it will make sense in the future. I've always said for at least the last 2 months, 2 to 4 unit properties, 2 to 4s. Duplexes, tris, and quads. Man, they're the sexy asset for the next, I think, 2 to 4 years. And wait until, Dion had talked to, I think, Matt, the mortgage guy. Wait until those programs come out that actually incent 2, 3, and 4 unit purchases. Guys, those prices are going to go up crazy. Prices are going to go up crazy. So that's just my thought on it, but that's what I continue to buy. Angel R, my rental properties are cash flowing and paying for themselves, but do I need to wait 2 years to show them on my tax return? Talk to the lenders. So do you think I can acquire another one in a few months using FHA? Probably not. Or would I need to wait 2 years for rental income to show my tax return? Talk to a lender. I don't think so it depends on if you've already used your FHA mortgage because you only get one FHA mortgage. The key is to talk to a conventional lender, right? And when you're talking to the conventional lender, you talk to a conventional lender that's used to handling landlords. That's how you do it. So the big ones, I know Dion starts with Wells Fargo and Bank of America. I don't start with those guys. They won't even take my business because you have to be in there. For me, for a landlord of more than 10 units, you have to be in their private wealth division and all this other crazy stuff if they're going to do business with you. And I don't want to do business with a bank that big. Too much contagion, too much the target of everything, always, all the time. So I actually work with smaller local banks where their charter is to be of the community, in the community, for the community. Those are their charters. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So because of that, you're likely to get them to look at a deal differently than a Wells Fargo who, quite frankly, is never going to have a rep that's going to go walk that property. Local banks usually will, and they're more involved in their decisions because a lot of times they might have $1 billion in lending power. Like Wells Fargo's got hundreds of billions of dollars in lending power. Well, if they could stop stepping on their own, So that's my thought. Crimson Knight, how much do the IBC boilers cost based on your last video? You would based on your last video, you would guess about 3,000 to 4,000. Crimson Knight. So IBCs, they're the type of combi boiler that I use. It's an on-demand hot water, forced hot water system. It's made up of about 7 parts, I think. And the cool thing is when you're a dealer for that product, they actually get you a dealer kit where you can replace any of those 7 parts. They give you an actual boiler broken down where you can replace any of those 7 parts. So in 5 years, we've installed I don't know, over 20, I think. 17 comes to mind for some reason. We've installed a lot of them. And a brand new fresh install, yeah, you're probably talking 12, whereas a normal system might be 7 or 8. But they are super easy to maintain, super easy to fix, and I've never been down more than hours with one of those systems in 5 years. And that's with 17 of them deployed. Yeah. So $3,000 to $4,000 for the boiler itself, but you're probably talking another with piping and install. Yeah. I mean, you're talking, I had a combi boiler in place that we replaced with an IBC that cost about $8,000. We had one that we needed new radiators, all new PEX piping, all new copper piping, all the setup in the basement. That was between 12 and 14, depending on the amount of baseboard that you need, baseboard heating that you need. And I use 40% HO. So I forget who makes that stuff. I'd have to look. But there is a forced hot water baseboard that gets used that creates 30 to 40% more heat. Get that baseboard. It's not that much more money. It's no more money to install. It's not that much more money to buy, and your tenants will never, ever, ever be cold. And that's huge, especially around here where sometimes we get those weeks of minus weather that just absolutely suck. And I get it. They're cold, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. Think about it. When it's minus 15 wind chill outside, these boilers were built to keep houses, 70 degrees based on 0 degrees, not 15 below 0, especially 15 below 0 sustained. That's the biggest issue. Just 1 second. Okay. Know thyself first. Good morning. Good noon. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, 12:18. Yeah, but good morning. Jeremy Kirkwood. Hey, buddy, going to shoot my first real estate photo shoot. Wish me. Oh, good luck, Jeremy. Yeah. So Jeremy was a full timer. Quit his job. Dad of 8. Man, that's just nuts. That's awesome. And doing your first shoot. Congratulations. That's awesome. Love that. Know thyself first. Shipping has been delayed for both my American flooring options. Luckily, I have a buffer of 2 to 3 weeks, so hopefully it gets there before the contractor is done with it. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like I said, I think that so I've had shipping issues because they haven't had it. And they're waiting for it to come off a boat, but they know that it's on the boat. They just have no idea when it's getting off the boat and then getting delivered to them. And I have I've never had it. So far I haven't had it being their issue. I've had it being shipper's issue, and that's something that they just don't control. And, we're just a dog looking for a bone. We're all in the same boat there. So yeah. Know thyself first. Answer me down below if you've actually played with any of the product yet, though, other than the samples. Like, is that your first order? Matthew Paris. Pro tip. They'll let you pick up directly from their loading dock. Save me $90 liftgate fee plus extra time to find liftgate driver in your area. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, the only challenge is I think their areas, and Matthew, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that I think they're what? LA, Las Vegas, New Jersey, and like Atlanta or Florida or something. Um, yeah, but yeah, driver shortages. And Dion's trying to fix that one driver at a time. Mike's one rental at a time. Dion's one driver at a time. It's just crazy. It's crazy right now. Crazy, crazy. But that's a great tip. Yeah, if you're in their area, you can go and pick it up yourself, throw it in your truck, rent the load and go. Oh, what's really interesting is so the load and go from Home Depot. So I heard from a friend of mine. He's like, hey, can I borrow your truck? And I was like, seriously? He goes, use load and go. I was like, I see what you've done to my truck in the past. And he goes, I tried already. He's like, it's 4 weeks out. I was like, yeah, sure. Come get my truck. Fill it with gas this time, jerk face. You know who you are. I know you watch. Let's see. Crimson Knight. The only way our government debt works is inflation. Yep. Cheaper interest rate. Yep. Higher rates and stronger dollar. The whole thing blows up. Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. You got to pick it up a little bit, though. You got to pick up those rates a little bit. But yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, so I agree. Angel, sorry, net rental profit after PITI. So principal, interest, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and fancies. I like that word, fancy. Fancy. I was watching Seinfeld last night. Is he a fancy boy? Wearing the mink coat, etc. is 1341. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. 1341. That's awesome. Jeremy Kirkwood, right? Shaming. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, the refi shaming. I felt, yeah, we were refi shaming Dion. He can take it. He's wicked tough. He's wicked tough. I just want to see him get the money that he's going to want to have for kicking ass with a bunch of new deals. They're going to come about in this market coming up. There are going to be deals coming up. There's already been a lot of deals in the last like 2-3 weeks. I could have bought 4 deals. I can't do it right now. I just can't. I'm just too spread thin right now. And so I bought the best, or what I thought was the best of the 3 or 4 I got a chance to look at. So yeah. Know thyself first, trying to experiment with one of my properties and convert it to a short-term rental. Thoughts? You got to have the infrastructure to do that. Support it, maintenance. I mean, you can get crushed on Airbnb review-wise. So you better have the right cleaning crew. You better have the right decorator. You better have the right layout. You better have all the right stuff. Or just be brutally honest in what you don't have. That's the way that I always do it. Is I always tell tenants, I don't profile them, but I tell them, hey, next door is 4 guys in their mid-20s. Full disclosure, 4 guys in their mid-20s. They're all young professionals, but they're 4 guys in their mid-20s. And so I'm sure on a Friday night, they're not going to be home at 9:30 at night. And I say, I always just tell people that, people with young kids, because what's the first thing they're going to be doing? They're going to be complaining because it's 9:30 at night and they just put all their kids to bed and the next door is too loud. So I just like to be honest with people up front. I have more than enough renters to pick from. So I just tell them exactly what the story is. So changing one of your properties to an Airbnb, I don't know anything about it. I know it's in Mike's course. In fact, the people that he had do Airbnb are awesome at it. But for me, it's just I don't have the infrastructure for night-to-night rentals. And quite frankly, the dollar difference for me, at 70% occupancy is a couple $100, a few $100. So it's not worth it for me. Not worth it for me. So it's an option. If you have enough units, want to try something out. One of the things that I looked at when I was considering Airbnb was I looked at a site called AirDNA. I don't know if any of the other, real Airbnbers look at that, but I know I did. And we had like 200 Airbnbs in one of the towns that I was in. So 200 is a crazy high number, I think, especially when there was a couple new hotels that came in and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I don't know that you're ever doing 90%. But again, then your costs are also linear. The number of times you have to clean, unless it's a long-term stay. I don't know. I'm interested in your feedback. When you try it. Let me know how it goes. Would love to hear it. Love to hear it. Matthew Paris, to your point on missed opportunities, this is why I wished I started leveraging 0% down VA loan. Yeah. Having 2 free and clear allowed me to purchase 2 properties 0 down and remain under 50% loan to value as a whole. Yep, that's true. That's true. Crimson Knight 921. What do you think about doing shorter term rentals for people moving, trying to buy a home? Yep. There are some people committed to moving to NH no matter what, very qualified and need time to buy a house. Yeah. Yep. I mean, just make sure that you're getting, they'll likely need it furnished. So you're probably going to spend $5,000, I'd say, at least furnishing it. Yeah, I know that I had a broker that I thought was a brilliant idea. He actually built a house, a smaller house. I think it's a 1 or 2 bedroom. I think it might be a 2, maybe a 1. I think it's a 1 bedroom, maybe 2. But he built this thing, and he built it for the sole reason that he would rent it out to people if they sold their house and they needed a place to stay until their new house was either built or until they closed on their new house. I mean, I like the idea generally speaking, but I thought it was really brilliant. It's a new thinking. It's a new idea. I like it from the perspective that you can always pay rent. I mean, can you live in that smaller place for a few months? Yeah, probably. And then just wait and find the right thing? Yeah, probably. And then not have to move all your furniture in? Yeah, probably. I might do that. I honestly I've thought about doing that with, some of my units, just not the Airbnb really short term, like night after night type of thing. So. Know thyself first. Newbie to floor installation. Can you please break down the material needed for this job? Already ordered LVP from American, but contractor is talking about additional for shoe molding, prep, etc. Okay. Where do I have something next? Okay. Yep. I will demonstrate. Where do you get this? YouTube, right? So this will go almost to the edge of your wall. Let's say this is your wall, and this is not your baseboard. This is your wall, or it might even be your baseboard. This is going to go like this, but there's going to be a tiny bit of a gap because you want this to be able to float and also swell. Here's the challenge that you're going to have. You're going to have that gap right there, and you're going to see that gap, and crap is going to fall down behind that gap. So they might rip this edge, or they might even use this edge, depending on which edge they're actually attaching to on the wall. So you will see a gap like that, which means that you then need to put something called shoe molding or quarter round. And quarter round is just like it sounds. Quarter round is literally, and it, see that shape? Oh, there we go. See, focus. That's quarter round. So that's the piece that actually gets attached to here that covers that gap there. Okay. So yeah, you need that. I mean, they have to get paid for their time, but that's not a slow thing. Like those pieces come in 16-foot pieces. It might cost you though. It might cost you. I don't know what it's selling for right now because I buy that stuff in the bulk, but maybe call it 30 cents. Maybe call it 30 cents a foot. So a 16-footer might cost you $5. Yeah. So shoe molding you'll need. Prep, I don't know what your floors look like, but prep is for LVP. Prep is, that's the face you get for prep. Pad comes already installed on it. So is he talking about a pad? Is he talking about you've got a wavy floor, you've got big dips where you have to, shim the floor to get it nice and level? Other prep I don't know about. I mean, if you're ripping up carpet, you want to rip up all the carpet tack strips. You'll want to rip up, and there's a special tool that they sell at Home Depot that has like a flat end, and it's like it's rounded, and it's got like a flat edge right here, and you just can literally stick it right on the floor, and you squeeze it like pliers, and you pull up the staple. And so yeah, excuse me. So yeah, you're gonna want to pull all those. Yeah. Other prep I don't really know about. I don't know what other prep there would be on a floor. Shoe molding, yes. Pad, depends on what. I mean, again, that comes with a pad on it. The only thing that I would be using a pad for is if you're trying to buffer the sound, like if it's a second floor over a first floor. I would use like one of those sound deadening pads. If it's on concrete, I would use one that's a non-moisture, non-mildew, non-mold producer. I would look at that. I don't know what other prep is in there. Tell me below if there's some other prep that he mentioned that I missed, because I honestly don't know what other prep there would be, honestly. So yeah. So Matthew Paris, yeah, mine was a driver shortage. Yep, I picked up from the freight company in Orlando. Perfect. Yeah, great. That's great. Tamika L. It's nice when you can qualify for another mortgage without factoring the cash flow from rentals. Yes, even better for the debt to income, DTI, debt to income ratio, once those numbers are included. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Jeremy Kirkwood, curious, ever bought subject to? Nope, not yet. Not yet. Tried with a couple of deals, but nope. They did not work out. They did not work out. Tamika, when acquiring a new property, are there some standard remodels or updates you do even if not needed per se? Ba, 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 ba. Toilet. If it is an old 3.5 gallon per flush, 3.5 GPF gallon per flush, should say that somewhere either on the inside of your tank, or it should say it's somewhere on like the neck of your toilet. And so if it's a 3.5 GPF, I have it taken out and I put a new one in, because water is expensive. If you figure that over the course of the day that in that house that, we're in an apartment, that somebody might flush 8 to 10 times. So 35 gallons a day of water versus 1.6, 16 gallons a day of water. And you figure what our water here is very expensive, very pricey. Oh, apparently people didn't like what I was talking about the toilets. Because like 10 people just dropped. But anyway. So one came back. They're like, toilets? I want to hear about toilets. So on the toilet side of things, yes. Oh, and then I left again. So toilets, yeah. 3.5 GPF to 1.6 GPF. Do not get the 1.2s. Do not. Lots of problems with the 1.2s. They get clogged easier. And then as soon as the 0.4 difference that you pick up is not worth the number of calls you're going to end up getting and having to service them. It's not worth it, in my opinion. So toilets, faucets for sure. If I see a leaky faucet or one spraying, like I'll always flip that stuff on. A lot of times we'll swap those out. Smoke detectors, and we don't even bother using smokes by themselves anymore. We use smoke and carbon dioxides. We always have the heating system cleaned, always. It really ranges. So the letter that I just did that I sent out to my new 12 unit, I basically said, hey, if you have any of these 5 maintenance issues, please let us know right away. And then after you let us know right away on those, in fact, I'll even read it to you guys. I'll read it because I think I actually have it right here. So I will read this one to you, and you guys tell me what you think. But this is a letter that I just sent to my new tenants at my 12 unit. As I read, yeah, give me 1 second. Just here we go. There we go. There we go. All right, here we go. So, letter I sent out was let's see, tenant letter. Okay, here we go. As I read, good day. That's what I said. Good day. My name is Matt, and my wife and I are the new owners of your building at address. We couldn't be more excited to have you as a tenant, and we look forward to working with you over the coming weeks. We have a number of plans for the building, not limited to a new roof, upgrading windows, and hallways as well. We understand that the previous ownership often delayed or wouldn't fix maintenance issues. I can assure you we own several buildings and have contractors in place that can address all of these issues. As part of our process, we like to have each tenant list the top 2 items that are currently an issue in their unit. Things that I listed below are the most important items we need to address. However, if you don't have any of those issues, please let me know if there's something else that continues to be an ongoing challenge. If you have a toilet that is always running, if you have a shower, sink, drain that leak, if you have an outlet that doesn't work, if your windows don't work properly, or any of your appliances don't work or are experiencing issues. Right? I want to know all those things. I want to know all that stuff. Our first goal is to address the roof, as that is far deteriorated. I bought this building and I knew that the roof was garbage. And so we had that. We literally had that roof done within 7 days of closing. The items we receive back from everyone will be categorized, and then we will assign them to our contractors to get specific lists done over the next couple of weeks. We will also be upgrading all locks over the next few weeks to ensure only you and us, the new owner, have access to your unit. You will be able to select your own personal 4-digit code. Please email me the following at my email address. List your email, the cell phone number of any adult in the house. We use this to update all people in your unit and to keep you up to date as to maintenance being done in the building. 3, how you prefer to pay rent: check, cash, money order, or Venmo, PayPal. All rent should be made out to and sent to. And if you are paying Venmo, we give our Venmo account and our PayPal account. My email is X, my cell is Y, and I literally say in this, don't blow up my phone with a long text. Don't blow up my phone with a long text. Send me an email. Introduce yourself. We will work through the list of items and make the building a place you can be proud to live. I look forward to receiving your emails. And please, while you're at it, would love for you to introduce yourselves. Sincerely, me. That's my letter. So that letter worked out awesome. I think we got 11 out of 12 people responded to us. I'm very interested to see what happens with number 12. But we did. We got 11 out of 12 people respond to us, and we've actually already knocked 5 locks and like 17 things off the list. It worked awesome. And so the transition is going to be really, really, really good. So yeah, it's a letter that I encourage you guys to use. I'll try and post it actually. I was going to post that anyway, but yeah, I'll try and post it. I'll just take my stuff out of it. But yeah, it worked out really well, and then make your own, your own thoughts to it. Let's see. So Tamika, hopefully that answers your question. I'm certainly happy to answer more. But yeah, usually so to finish your question, we usually wait for that list because that's what's important to them. And one guy was kind of just not right. And he's just like, yeah, it has structural issues, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, are you a structural engineer? He's like, no. What you're citing aren't structural issues. It's a flooring issue. And we can fix the flooring issue, but it's a flooring issue. It's not structural at all. You don't know anything you're talking about. But anyway, so that's that. Jeremy Kirkwood, just put my next door neighbor's house on Airbnb, getting 25% to manage. Nice. Staging took most of the weekend. Okay. Whole house, 8 months. Air DNA had the nightly at $298. Oh, dear God. Wow. That's crazy. Pride and Price. My floors needed to be filled and leveled, so that was a little expensive prep. Filled and leveled. Give me more detail on that. Filled and leveled. If you're, you can put down, yeah, I mean, certainly that could be in some places where you're putting down plywood or floor leveler. The pros use a combination of the two. Yeah. Yep. Matthew Paris, what did you do early on to get around your write-offs dropping your income too low to qualify for a mortgage? We didn't. I don't think we didn't. There was nothing we could do. So that's when we were just doing deals more slowly. We were doing like one a year. In the beginning, like I said, I mean, it took like Mike talks about, I mean, it took, 10 years before we really started to roll. It took 10 years before we really started to feel like something really cool was happening. It took 15 before or 13, 12 or 13 before we really started to see cash roll. Really, really roll too. Like nice numbers. Yeah, nice numbers. So yeah, Matthew, there was no way that we got around it. It was just we did fewer deals in the beginning. The only way to really get around it is private lending, sub-2 loans. You can do a note like what Mike talks about in his course, the 6 and 20 note. If you're trying to find outside investors, you can do that sort of stuff. That's the only way around it, but not through a bank or any of these conventional lending systems. No. Crimson Knight 921, has Dover had a sudden spike in rent on the seacoast? I was estimating 15 to 1700 for my duplex, but some new rentals hit the market and made me think 1650 to 1850. Tell me, do you have a duplex in Dover? Yeah, so Crimson Knight, tell me if you have a duplex in Dover and what the bedroom bathroom count is and what road it's on, and I'll tell you what it's worth. Because I know that market. I know that market cold. Price and Pride. At Jeremy, Air DNA sounds like an interesting business. Not sure I'd pay those rates to stay there. Yeah, so Pride and Price. So they actually use their Air DNA is based on what was realized price. So it's kind of like NADA guides where they have kind of like a low, medium, and high. That is what the dealer reported was the quality of the car, and that's what they actually either paid for it or sold it for. So those are real actual market numbers is my understanding. That's what I was told. Again, I don't do Airbnb. I know nothing about it. I've looked at Air DNA for less than 5 hours in my life, but I believe that's how they come up with their numbers. I could be wrong. Crimson Knight. Then again, there were really no rentals to compare as my duplex in single family zoned area south of Queen City Ave and north of 290, then 2 suddenly appeared. Oh yeah, so that's Manchester. Yeah, Manchester and Dover, hugely different markets, so I would never compare the two. Yeah, hugely different. Yep. Depending on how many bedrooms your duplex is, I don't remember. You didn't say how many bedrooms it was. I just rented out a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, nothing included, $2,100 a month. Yeah. And it's nice, but it's nothing special. It's nice. I'd say it's a 7 or an 8. So it's nice. New floors, new vanity, all new paint, new lighting fixtures, new dishwasher, washer and dryer. Yeah. But that's $2,100 for a 3-bed, 1-bath. Angel R. So for toilets, 1.6 GPF or greater, but not to exceed 3. Yeah, I mean, there's a 1.6 GPF out there that's actually really good. I think 3 is even too much. I just do. Think of it on a 1.6, right? Let's just say you needed a double flush. Let's talk about double flushing, right? I mean, let's just say you needed a double flush. That's not happening every single time. So I wouldn't be doing a 3 because if you figure it's 10, because it's never going to go away and your water only continues to go up, right? So it's 35 gallons a day versus 16 gallons a day, right? And that's in just a 2-bedroom. That's in a 2-bedroom. I mean, if you're talking about like a 4-bedroom with kids or kids that are potty training, my daughter's career right now is peeing on the potty. It's like, I'm like, listen, if it's yellow, let it mellow. Stop flushing the toilet. I'll get over it. It's 2-year-old pee. I can't see that water bill. I'm going to die. Yeah, I would die. Oshka. Yeah. So I would do the 1.6s. I like them. They're good. Haven't had any issues. Double flush occasionally, but yeah, largely speaking, no issues. No, it's good. It's good. Jeremy Kirkwood, don't want to jinx it, but I met with an older investor on Thursday about buying a 5-plex and a single family subject too. Very cool. Trying to decide which creative financing tool to use. Net cash flow would be $3,900 a month. Hold on, contractor. Promise I'll get back to it. Premise. The gas valves. Okay. Oh, hell. Okay. When could you swap it? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so cash flow will be $3,900 a month. That's awesome. Net cash flow $3,900 a month? Damn. That's ridiculous. Oof. Jeremy, good luck, bro. Man, I hope you get that deal. Oh, that's a killer deal. Oh, put down below what that cost basis is. I want to know more details about that deal. Man, that's killer. Oh, that's a ridiculous deal. Hey, if any of this stuff is valuable, guys, thumbs up. Please. Thumbs up are always needed. Being told by these marketing people. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the thumbs up. Mike Jewell, cool letter. Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, I'll post that with the important stuff left in there. My info taken out. Jeremy Kirkwood, at Price and Pride. Yeah, me too. It's a high-end neighborhood close to new surgery centers. 300 a night is steep, but we will see. It's a beautiful house, 14 night minimum. Oh, wow. Whew. So they're writing a check for 42 bones. Aishka. I mean, but I get it. Like if it's next to one of those surgery centers, like, yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Shoot. Hold on. All right. Jeremy Kirkwood, I'm gonna need that letter. Yeah, sure, no problem, guys. I'll figure out how to post that after I clean it up. I'll clean it up tonight. Price and Pride at Jeremy. Didn't realize that was a real thing. Thought it was a sketchy typo. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Crazy. Sorry. 1 second, guys. Oh. Okay. D. Frank. Great letter to cross your boundary. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Thank you. Invest Wealth. Matt, you need to post your letter in Zuber's FB or at group. Sure. Yeah, I'll post it there too. I want to post it for everybody so everyone can have it. It's a good letter. It just kind of conveys who we are as landlords. We are excited. We're happy to have them as our new tenant. And we're excited to own the building, and we're going to make improvements. And yeah. Yep, that's the plan. That is the plan. Crimson Knight 921, but you can use floor leveler in my 1915 duplex. Don't think it can support it. Yeah, so floor leveler is super heavy. The bigger issue with floor leveler is it's super expensive. So you're better off. I mean, it's more than 1/8 of an inch. Like, it just depends, but yeah, you can do prep with Luan in some spaces and plywood in others, and then use the floor leveler to kind of soften the edges and stuff. So I've seen a lot of stuff done. Yep, I've seen a lot of stuff done. I've seen a lot done. Yeah. Angel, thank you, Matt. You're the best. Thanks, Angel. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude, it's all good, man. We're all in this together. I'm psyched when other people get deals. And like my friends, Tina and Jeff, I could not be more happy for them. I think that deal is a freaking just wicked killer deal. I think they're just going to absolutely crush it with that property. It's funny. It's 5 houses down from a property I already own. And she goes, "Oh, wait, is that 78? And I go, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm literally 5 houses down from you." She's like, "Shut up." I was like, "Swear." So if my tenant needs to borrow sugar, they're going to come down there. But yeah, really super pumped that they got that. Crimson Knight. No, I don't. No, I don't. I was just asking because NH is so small, rent spikes everywhere generally. When Nashua or Manchester goes up, the others do too. So they do, but ours go up faster. Because I used to be in Manchester. So I know that the Seacoast stuff just goes up way faster. All right, a couple more questions, and I'm going to cover how I got rich. And the main thing that I did in my market and what I targeted for a tenant. And when I say targeted for a tenant, I wasn't profiling. It was what I did to my properties, how I did them that made them very attractive to a specific market segment. And so shockingly, when we had 30 people email us, guess what? 29 out of the 30 were all this same type. And the numbers were ridiculous. Let's see. Matthew Paris. A friend of ours backed off their write-offs and paid more in taxes to show more income. Definitely a friend. Yeah. Yeah, I get that for sure. I've seen that done. Yep. Crimson Knight. Second floor 2-1, first floor 2-1.5 with extra room area. Minus 150 for mine because not as up to date. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like my stuff was updated. So I just put in floors. Like I said, I mean, we went through it. We didn't spend anything crazy. I think we were 10 grand all in, and that included the appliances we bought and install. So yeah, we were maybe 10 grand all in. Yeah. Yeah, maybe 10 grand all in. But the place looked awesome. I mean, new vanity, new dishwasher, new washer and dryer, painted the entire house, new flooring throughout the entire house, went through and did all the lights. Yeah, we went through it. it was nice. It came out great. I mean, I lived there. It was a nice place. But yeah, it rented quickly. It rented in like 7 days, I think. And we had a number of applicants. It was really just deciding which was the best applicant for us. And the people are very, very nice there. Very nice. So yeah. Yep. Jeremy Kirkwood, 220K for the 5-plex. Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome. 64K for the single family home. Each unit rents for $1,000 in the single family for 11. Oh, damn. 450. Getting a great deal. Fingers crossed. So here's what I'd tell you, Jeremy. If he decides or if he talks to somebody, the number goes up. Depending on how much it goes up, don't be afraid to pay the bigger number. Like that return on capital is ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous, especially if he's doing sub 2. Like, oh, what a killer deal. Yeah, good luck, my man. I hope that comes together for you. Looks like the sun is coming out. Going to try and get some outdoor time. Thanks for answering my questions. Crimson Knight, no problem, my friend. Enjoy the weather. Holy cow, did that rain suck last night. Man, that sucked. I got a video from a tenant, and they're like, hey, the basement's flooding. I was like, send me a picture. And then they sent me a video. And I was like, that's not really flooding. It's got some water in it. Sure. It wasn't really flooding. If you can slap your hand like this on the floor and it splashes because you're hitting your hand on the floor, it's not flooded. Not in New England anyway. All right. So I got through all the questions. Now I'm going to take you guys through exactly what I did and the demographic and the model I had when I blew up my business. So it is the following. I looked for universities. In Boston, there are a ton of them. But in New Hampshire, I live about 15 minutes from the University of New Hampshire. Here is the very simple math. University of New Hampshire, it was, I think it was $14,000 to live on campus. 14 grand. 7.5 months is all you're there. You're only there 7.5 months. That's it. During winter break, unless you have special rules, and there's very few people with those rules that get them applied to them, you have to leave campus. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You have to leave. It's not an option. So you are there for, part of August, September, October, November, December. Then you're gone for a month. Then you're back for part of January, February, March, April, and part of May. And then you're gone. You have to leave. So what I started doing was I started renting to students. I know. You got to be careful. They're going to blow your house up, blah, blah, blah. I get news for you. There are just as many bad tenants that are students as there are bad tenants that are like lifer tenants. I had a big argument with one of those lifer tenants last night. Not a lifer for me, lifer for a program. And I have a meeting scheduled with housing tomorrow because she was so obnoxious. And it's been like 45 days and she's already in violation of 4 parts of the lease. So yeah. Anyway, where I made all my money was I looked at high density houses. So 4 and 5 bedrooms. I own 16% of the 4 bedroom and pluses in my area. Yep. I own a massive chunk of them. And the other stuff that I don't own is like $1 million homes. And no one's renting that out to college kids because they don't have $7,000 or $6,000 a month to pay the mortgage. So I specialized in those types of units. When I first started, UNH was about $9,000 for rooming there. So call it about $1,000, a little over $1,000 a month. What I did was I did half price. I said, hey, it's $1,000 a month to live, $1,000 a month to live on campus, or it's $500 a month to live in my place. But the difference is you're still paying for college. It's a college loan. It's your parents' money. It's your money. You're still paying for it. So do you want to pay literally $1,000, over $1,000 a month to live there for 7.5 months? And then in winter break, you have to go home. And in summer break, you also have to go home. You can do whatever you want, but most people want to stick around here for winter break and just chill out and have the time away and have the time off, and they go home when they want to go home. Same thing in the summertime. They're 20, 21, 22 years old. They don't want to go home and hang out with their parents for the summer. Some do, but largely don't. It's tough to go from having a college lifestyle at 21 years old and then having to move back home under mom and dad's roof. I've seen that go wrong many a time. But again, the reason that we've had so much success with that is because we have so many people that said, yeah, this is a no-brainer. And so it would be it was kind of $500 a month. Now, I was not renting out rooms. I would rent them out to a group of people, everybody on the same lease, not individual leases. So I'd rent it out to a group of people, and they were all jointly and severally liable. That is a legal term. They were all on exactly the same lease. There were no special rules made for any of them, and I wasn't renting it out by the individual. Now, will I let the individual pay? Sure, I will let the individual pay. However, I will not sign individual leases with those people, because that would make it a different type of room share, which in most places is illegal. So I would rent it out to a group of friends, and they would pay their share. Some people paid all at once. Other people were just like, no, I'll just pay directly. Makes no difference to me. I don't care. So we were getting, for 4-bedroom units, when it was usually a mom and dad and a couple of kids or 3 kids, they, believe it or not, they weren't as good of a fit and they couldn't afford to pay the same thing that the kids could pay. Couldn't afford to pay it. So that's what we did. We did a lot of college rentals. We did a lot of 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom. Like I said, I own over 15% of the 4-bedrooms and 5s in our market. And that went extremely well. It still goes extremely well. And here's the thing. So when COVID happened, do you think I had an issue? Of course. All these kids were getting sent home. And they wanted to go home with their parents. So the good news is that we kind of pivoted and we started marketing specifically and saying, hey, if you're getting out of school, if you're this, if you're that, and we would just say, hey, these are things to consider. We did very, very, very well with that. 2,000 right now, those units with students in them, or what we call, or grad students or newly graduated, they don't want to live at home. They're more than happy to still live with 4 or 5 friends. Their share of the rent is $500 or $600 a month. In fact, the matter is if you're a waiter or a waitress, you can easily make that in a weekend if you're in a busy bar, or you can make it in a week just working in a restaurant. I mean, not hard, not really hard to make that money. So 1 week and you're paying it, and then the rest of the month you're paying off school loans and paying your car payment and all that other stuff. But now we're averaging out now to be between 6 and 8, 6 and 800 a bedroom, depending on quality of the unit. Because a lot of my units are close to downtown, so people can walk out their front door and they're downtown in 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk, which they like because of the bars and things like that they go down and hang out at. But I think that of anybody that I've worked with, I think they get the biggest bum rap is students and people in their 20s. There's plenty of responsible people in their 20s out there. It's not an age thing. It's a maturity thing. And yeah, we have very, very, very few problems. Very few problems. I know other landlords that have far more problems and far more evictions than lending out or renting out to people in their 20s. So they get my full endorsement. I've done it a lot. I love renting to them. They're almost always respectful. They recognize that life happens. Sometimes they don't understand why something is the way it is, but you have to have grace for that because they're 23. What would you expect them to know about the fact that a plumber doesn't drop whatever they're doing to, come fix their stopper in their drain, right? But that's fair. You have to be willing to have that conversation. So for what it's worth, but that's how we made an absolute ton of money, because if you figure our duplexes, in fact, the duplexes that I did the video on my channel for, The one that says $17,000 down, and in 10 years I made $500,000 on the property, and I still own it. That video was college. That was college kid rented or grad student rented, but yeah, college kid rented. There were no adults in that, no families in that house. There were adults, but there were no families in that house. And yeah, the numbers were just way better. The numbers were way better. So yeah, really, really good. So keep that in mind when you're looking at markets or new markets. Look at what the college charges. Look at what the college charges for on-campus living. See if they have any place where they post. Look at Craigslist. Rent-A-Meter's all right, but they're behind. Apartments.com is decent. I look at Craigslist the most. We put stuff out there or we put it on social media. We crush. And not under the Lumberjack brand, because that's my brand, not for our real estate business. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on, Contractor. Okay. Let's see. Jeremy Kirkwood. He's from my church. Cool. I approached him after skip tracing a property. Oh, very cool. Had lunch. Turns out he is wanting to get out of all of them. Right. They're squared away as well. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Good for you. Excited for you. That sounds like it's going to be an awesome opportunity. That's really great. That's really great. Scott Coleman, thanks for chopping wood on Sunday. And what toilet is it that you use so you never have to replace it again? I will get the name. I'll get the name because it's a specific model. I want to say it's a Cadet, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Let me make sure I get that name for you. I'll make sure I get that toilet name for you. We've done a lot of those toilets. We probably we'll do 20 of them this year because we have a lot of rehabs. But we'll do 20 of them. That 12-unit building. So that 12-unit building has a bunch of 3+ gallon flushes. Those are going by the bye-bye. Super expensive. Super expensive. Like that toilet's going to pay for itself in a year and a half. Think about that. A year and a half. Like that's nothing. And the toilet's going to last for 20 years. Like it's just a no-brainer. It's just fine-tuning, right? This is where you take care of your big swaths, but you also like just you kind of get process, you get product, you get that stuff in there, and then you just start fine-tuning it. And then that's the stuff that we do to make, to lessen our energy footprint. And I'm not a tree hugger, even though I'm a lumberjack. I'm not a tree hugger by any stretch, but I do believe in doing the right thing when you can. And if you can lessen your carbon footprint and become more efficient and lower the cost for your tenants, then that's just a win all the way around. Will I pay 4 times the price for that? I will not. Because then that doesn't make sense. It doesn't financially make sense. But yeah, Scott Coleman, I will post that. Tamika L. Many students need to work as well. Having stable housing in local area is very helpful. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too is it takes you out of the college atmosphere per se. And so it does a couple things for you. It puts you in a different job market, number one, right? So as it puts you in a different job market. And number two, most importantly, you have far more freedom. You just have far more freedom, So it's just, man, I tell you, we've had a lot of folks. I mean, we had this one group of guys, sophomores in college, junior year, then senior year, then 2 out of the 4 did grad. So sophomore, sophomore, junior, senior, 2 years of grad, and then 2 years post grad. 7 years they were in one of my places. And we raised rent a little bit, and it was so cheap for them. Oh, dear heavens, it was so cheap for them. Yeah. Like freaking killer deal. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Contractor. So yeah, Tamika, you're dead on. Absolutely something that students needed, wanted, had to have. And it worked out great. Loved having them. In fact, what's really cool is I ended up building my business. I had to add singles and single bedroom, one bedrooms, and two bedrooms because I had so many tenants that loved me as a landlord and were like, I'd really love it if you had another place. Cool. They're like, but I don't want to live with four people anymore. Get it. Totally get it. And so a lot of them then moved into two bedrooms. What was interesting is their cost basis. I knew they could pay $500 or $600 a month. And when they went to a two bedroom, I think the cost basis went to like $750. So it wasn't crazy more if they were splitting it with a roommate. The jump to a one bedroom, some of them can do it because they got great jobs getting out of college. Some of them got, almost six-figure jobs. I had a couple guys that come to mind that were data scientists. One of them, I had another one that was a nutritionist. Another one that, I got a corporate marketing position. Super impressive kid. But yeah, so I love that stuff. I love being a part of that journey for those guys, for sure. Eric, if I already have an FHA loan, can my wife get an FHA loan under her name and I co-sign with her owner occupied, or do I need to get out of the FHA to be able to co-sign on another FHA owner occupied? You know what, Eric, that's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure one of the questions on that or on those things, I think one of the questions, I think one of the questions on there is, do you have an FHA loan? I'm not positive, dude. It's been forever. Sorry. It's just been forever on that one, but I would check that. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have to be free and clear of your FHA. Pretty sure. Yep. Pretty sure. Not positive, but pretty sure. But yeah, I would double check that, but yeah, pretty sure. Eric, can you please talk about what are some of the easier things to DIY on a home reno? Flooring, drywall, tile, replacing electrical fixture. How long does it take? Boy. No to drywall. Absolutely not. Hell no. Nope. Painting, yes, because you can get really good at painting. My wife is an amazing painter. Not creative, but painting a wall, painting trim, she's very good at it. She doesn't use tape. She's got perfect lines. She got very, very good at that. When she was in nursing school and I was putting her through nursing school, I just said, you don't have to do a job, but we do need some help when there's like a tenant turnover. We need to get something painted. And so she would do a lot of the painting. She was very good at it. Yeah, it was great. What else? So yeah, drywall, no. Replacing electrical fixtures, depends on how you feel about that. Talk to your town and see if they allow that sort of stuff. Usually they do. There's enough stuff on YouTube where largely you can do it. I just don't. And for me, it's for liability purposes. So I can figure out red to red and black to black and white to white. I can figure that out. But I don't do it because of liability. If I have an electrician that did that work and the house goes up in flames, he's got insurance. I'm not hurting him. And for me, I might have insurance, but if I did it, like, I'm not going to lie and say I didn't. So yeah, for me, I would just rather pay an electrician to do it. What I would do is I would put an ad on like Craigslist for skilled labor, or even because you can go to the Angie's List, right? But Angie's List is all guys that own their own businesses. And so they need to make X amount of dough and they're, I want to support small business, but I'd rather support guys with side hustle, And so the only guy that's a business that I use is the plumber. And it's because I need him to be 24/7 and side hustle guy can't do 24/7. But the electrical, side hustle, tile, you name it, tile, flooring, windows, trim. Like the guy who does my trim work is a cabinet maker and he's a killer cabinet maker. Like he that dude is skilled. That dude is skilled. Like, he is skilled. But yeah, he's just, and so yeah, all my guys are side hustle guys. The only thing that I ask them to do is if they're going to do a project for me, that they work at least 2 or 3 nights a week, and then all day, an 8 or 10 hour day on a Saturday. Because most of them can bang out a unit when it comes to putting in a kitchen, putting in trim, and you just have them all kind of working around each other. Same thing with electrical, so if it's a big, huge gut redo, depending on my timeline, if it's like middle of the winter, that's when they're slow and they need the extra overtime. That's when, for me, I'm not going to rent a unit in January anyway. So I want to I'll spend the extra couple months, carry costs, an extra couple K. I'll make up for that 6X with what I save on them getting it done. And they all have insurance. They all have their own insurance. And on top of that, I have insurance too. But they have an insurance for their skilled labor for what they're doing. So, and if you guys, I'm seeing a lot more watchers. If you guys are new to the channel, new to me, please feel free to ask a question. Anything about real estate investing, I'm not afraid. I'll answer anything. And I 90% of the time won't make fun of you. I'm just teasing. I don't make fun of people. Jeez, such a nasty rumor. Tamika, at what point did you experience the break from house hacking to the ability to just purchase with 20 to 25% down? Tamika, you always ask good questions. I would say, like, what number property? So I know about when that happened, but what stat are you looking for there? I'll share it. I just don't know which stat you're looking for because there's a bunch of stuff around it. Eric, can you please talk about what? Okay, sorry. I guess I missed your question, Tamika. So there's your question. So yeah, put down below what metric you're looking at, and I'll tell you the answer. And how long? So Eric, so to finish your question, how long does it take? Drywall can take you a month of Sundays. Drywall sucks. Drywall mudding sucks even more. That is a real skill. I mean, all these things, guys, are real skills. They just are. They're real skills. Getting my kids, they will have the option to go to college, but they will also absolutely have the option of trades. Plumber, electrician. My brother-in-law is 25 years old and he's going to get his master's. So proud of the kid, master's in electrical. Just so proud of him. He's worked so hard. He just crappy commute and crazy hours, and he's just busted his ass. And good for him. He's earned it. He has earned it. Had nothing handed to him. Just good for him. Good for him. And he's going to have his journeyman in a few months. Just good for him. Such a hard worker. So yeah, to answer your question, Eric, it's impossible to tell you how long. Some people can naturally pick that stuff up. YouTube having all the content that they have on all this stuff, though, has made it a lot easier. Sheetrock's still tough. Tile, you can certainly do. But I can tell you, the guys that are good tile guys, oh, damn. I had a guy that tiled my entire shower surround in 7.5 hours. Rockstar. Him and another guy, where he would just tell him, this is what I need for the next tile. Just awesome. Awesome. It was so much fun watching him work. I just checked on him a couple of times. I was like, damn, this guy's skilled. That's what I love seeing. So I love seeing really skilled people, especially that are side hustlers, make up and be able to do special things for their family when they go out and they sacrifice some time on a Saturday or a Sunday or at night. Love it. I just love that. That's the American spirit right there. Angel R, American Standard Cadet 3. Yeah, I think that's actually it. Yeah, I think that's actually it. That might be it. Did I say Cadet 3? Or did I say Cadet? I think I did. All right. Yeah, Angel, I think that's it, bro. I'll check it, my man. I'll check it. Make sure I give you guys the right answer. But yeah, whatever it was, toilets killer, 1.6 GPF, gallon per flush. Awesome. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And we have a ton of them, and we put a ton of them in. And we've never, I won't say we've never had one clog, but we've never really had an issue with one of them. They've been really good. And the water bill goes down. You absolutely see the water bill go down. So yeah. Yep. Love it. Matthew Paris. And we found for rent signs only bring two types of people: baby boomers who aren't good with the internet, and people look for someone to take a chance on them. Oh yeah. Oh, Dion had on his channel one of the funniest stories I think I've ever heard. In his live stream, a guy said that, so a guy was late showing up to sign the lease. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Tenant. But the tenant, so the conversation was, the guy showed up late, said that somebody stole the money that he had for the deposit and first month's rent out of his drawer, and that he just needed another 10 days. Holy crap, I would run the other way. I used to take a chance on a guy like that. No way. No way. Oh, just a bad thing happened to him. Nope. 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 I guarantee that guy has bad things happen to him all the time. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Dion's answer I thought was much nicer than my answer. But yeah, I thought Dion's webcast was awesome. It was really good. Yeah, take a chance on them. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Of my 9 evictions, because we just did number 9. Of my 9 evictions, 7 of them were take a chance on me's. I'm an idiot. I learned my lesson. I don't take a chance on people anymore. I don't because because I think maybe once that's worked out. Maybe once. It usually doesn't work out. I get crushed. Rob Cook. Hey, Rob, I've never seen you before. Thanks so much for watching the show. I appreciate it. I am feeling a renter nation is reality and will continue and worsen. Great for landlords. Do you agree? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it's great for landlords. Well, it's great for landlords. I think it's bad for society. And I don't want to say I'm part of the problem because I'm part of the solution. I'm trying to deliver affordable units, but I can't because they keep on raising my taxes. They keep on, everything gets more expensive. And so, yeah, it just, yeah, brutal. So yeah, I do think I think that millennials are renter nation. I think Generation Z has the chance to become a big owner, a big owning generation. I really do. I think that some of the Gen Zers, I think are doing some pretty freaking awesome stuff, man. Pretty awesome stuff. I worked with a 23-year-old, Emma. Her details are on the channel. She did 3 videos with me doing the budget work. Now she's shopping for her multifamily. She's got her act together, man. She's got money ready for a down payment. She's got her dollars in check. A 25-year-old kid named Noah. I say kid because I'm 44, but he got his act together. He bought a 4-unit for $8,000 out of pocket because I helped him how he structured the deal. Worked out absolutely freaking awesome for him. And so, yeah. So Rob, I think that's an awesome question. Really appreciate you watching, but yeah, I think it's going to get better for landlords. I think that the wealth gap is going to widen bigger because the difference between the gap and the wealth gap right now isn't so much ultra wealthy versus, rich. It's really the difference between kind of middle class. And I think it's really the difference. It's really the difference between people that own assets and people that don't. That's really the difference. Our assets through inflation are going to continue to appreciate. I'm going to pay the same $4 a gallon for gas that they're paying for it. The difference is if they're making $50,000 or $60,000 a year and I'm making a lot more than that, I don't feel that $4 a gallon gas. In fact, I always drive big trucks. I love big trucks. I don't drive a ton, but I love big trucks. And that's what I'm always going to drive. Yep. So, yeah. So Rob, thanks again for the question. Tamika, property number or cash flow number? Okay. So property number, it was... I moved into my first single family house and I was I was still in a duplex. I didn't house hack I didn't house hack the next duplex. So maybe 12. I think 12, Tamika, right around there. 11, 12, 13, right in there. I'd have to look back at it. Because I know that so I'm 44 now. I lived in a duplex. So I lived in the house that I lived in now for this coming January will be 2 years. The previous house, I lived in that for 2 years. Before that, I was in a duplex. So right after my 40th birthday is when we moved into a first single family home. That wasn't going to be a project. And then it ended up being a project. I redid it, made it beautiful. In fact, if you want to see that project, it's 2 Whittier, Whittier, Falls Way. You can actually see Lumberjack Landlord Rehab or Lumberjack Landlord Awesome Project or Flip Project. It's right on my channel. I recorded it maybe a month ago. You can see the quality that we did that house. But I bought that house. And I take you through all the befores and all the afters. Tamika, I'm not sure if you watched that, but if you would, I love your feedback. You always ask great questions. So, and then cash flow number. No, we didn't base anything on cash flow. The only thing that we'll base on cash flow is when I retire. 45 years, 6 months, and 14 days. I know Mike's not watching, but yeah. 45 years, 14 months. 45 years, 6 months, 14 days. Yeah. Matthew Paris. He'll definitely make fun with you. Make fun with me? I don't know. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that's in context to. But Matthew, if you explain, I'd love to know. Dion Talk Financial Freedom. Scripting a video and you are giving me great ideas. What the hell, Dion? That's good. I love that dude. He's the best. He's the best. You know who he reminds me of a little bit? And this is a compliment. This is not an insult. I want to make sure I'm making that clear. He reminds me, just in I don't know why he reminds me of that, but the gym teacher on Beavis and Butthead, the buzz cut, except he doesn't have the buzz cut. I don't know. He just reminds me of that guy. I think it's because I love he's got kind of a underlying intensity because he knows what he's talking about, which I love. Yeah, I'm such a huge fan of his. It's really funny. Karen Molnar. Hey, Karen. I think you've asked questions here before, but I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Hi, Matt. Thanks for doing this live Q&A. You're very welcome. I don't have any properties yet. About to cash out, refinance my primary. Okay. Would you use the cash to purchase one single family home or use as down payment on a few? Great question. So I just did a video on that. Let me know below if you didn't see that video. And if you want that video is a great watch. But for me personally, I believe in cash flow. And so the cash flow that you get out of multiple properties, right? So the cash flow that you get out of multiple properties, you get appreciation. That's nice. I don't model for appreciation, although you get it, and you get it times 4 assets or 3 assets instead of 1 asset. But the big thing is rents. Rents continue to rise. Rents will continue to rise. And will they continue to rise on one property that you own outright? Yes, they will. But every single dime that you get in increased rent, almost every single dime goes to the bottom line because your cost basis is 30-year fixed. And so your taxes might go up a little bit. But yeah, I just believe in one to many, one to many, one to many, right? So I refinanced 8. And those 8 that I refinanced, I think total were, call it like 23 units. Refinancing 23 units bought me another, or I bought, but it gave me the cash to buy another like 30 or 32, and I still have plenty of cash left. So, our balance sheet completely blew up in the last 90 days. Just blew up. Yeah, big time, blew up. So that's for me. So yeah, my take is I do multiples. So long as you know what you're doing, so long as the bank understands what you're doing. There's a million caveats. It depends on where you are in life. And so, yeah, to answer that question is for me, specifically for me personally. Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, I sold the single family home after we lived in it for 2 years. I didn't have any gain. I had huge gains on it. But made over 200 grand on that house. I took that 200 grand and I bought 3 more duplexes. And then the single family home that I bought, I had already saved up the money there, and I bought that with only 10% down. So that's what I did. So hopefully that helps. And if it doesn't, let me know. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Matthew Paris, that was my tenant. Oh, seriously. Yes. Oh, man. What the hell? The sock drawer bandit. I love it. Yeah, that's so true. So true. Rob Cook, higher rents will make it more difficult to save for down payments. Yes. Yep. And rates cannot stay this low. Yes. So they will never be homeowners and thus perma-renters. So I think so. I think the key though is that, wage inflation, I don't think you're accounting enough for that. And the thing you have to think about is, there are some, there's a lot of people like in my real job field that people that leave and make 20% more in the next company. So let's just say your cost basis, right? Let's just say your cost basis or your income basis is 100 and you just went to 120. So if you're at 120, you made $20,000 more a year, right? If your payment goes up 10%, let's say your payment goes up 10%. So, or you're, $1,600 to $2,000 or to $1,920. So let's say it goes up 20%. That's only $300. That's $300 a month times 12 months. That's $3,600, right? But you made 20 grand more because of wage inflation, because you got 20% on 100K instead of 20% on your $1,600 payment. So that's where I think that generally speaking, like your premise is correct, but I think the math will bear out a little bit differently. I think becoming a perma renter is more a mindset than it is a financial constraint, because there are a ton of programs available now that, that we covered a couple weeks ago. I mean, there's some stuff that's like no credit required. Or not. Yeah. One of them is like no credit required. Another one is like, you can have a 580 credit score. Holy crap. Like that's awful. And sorry if you have 580s or anybody, but that's a horrible credit score. Generally speaking. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I think that there will be. I think it's going to be a mindset, and I think that's where I see things potentially changing. Is I think that there will be a shift, and I think that there's going to be a lot more people. They're going to start asking the right questions about a college education. I think that that's going to change too. I think it's becoming very, very, very evident that college education means something for certain fields and means nothing for others. So I think that there's going to be a movement in that direction. I don't know how big the movement will be, but I think you'll see. So I think you will see some change there. But yeah, great question though. I agree with you, largely speaking. Eric, thank you for all you do. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you taking the time. Absolutely, I'm happy to. Like and subscribe. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, only subscribe if you want some kick-ass content on the reg. So yeah, I share my life with you guys. I just believe in transparency. The only thing that I obviously don't share is exactly my finances because I'm not going to ever share that. There's like 3 people on that list, and there are strictly need to know basis. But yeah, I'm happy to always break down a deal for you because I think that that's where I can help people the most. Breaking down a deal, rehabbing it, what products to use. That's kind of my CV. Like the story on the house hacking. Oh, thank you. You're my favorite. The 3 amigos. Don't tell anyone. I'll try not to. I appreciate that. It's a great group. Honestly, I love working with those guys. I think there's something for everyone between the 3 of us. So yeah, I think it's a lot. It's really good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Invest to Wealth, American Standard 3 Cadet Power Wash, $218 at Lowe's and Home Depot. That might be it. Let me just double check. And I don't buy mine from Lowe's or Home Depot. If you haven't watched my story, I don't like big box stores. It is. Hold on one second. Sorry. So I don't like big box stores. They do have inferior product. It's just factual. I have had a ton of issues with certain products that I bought from them. And they pay to mass produce them. And you think those few widgets might not matter. And they really do. They just do. They're looking for a way to hit a price point. And it's not worked. As I've gotten bigger, the most important thing as a business, the most important thing to do is to reduce the friction, right? What was the word that we used? You just want to reduce the friction that you have in your business. And you can do that when you use better product. I'm paying the same thing to install it. So I've been installing better product for a number of years, and it's absolutely paid dividends. It really has. Yeah, it really has. Tamika L. Oh, be sure to watch it. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, appreciate that, Tamika. And yeah, comment on the video. I'd love to get your feedback on it. But yeah, that lumberjack project, I did it in the last few weeks. Awesome project. That was a house I lived in. I lived in that house for 2 years. In fact, we were under the gun. I bought that house in September and I finished it right around Christmas. We were under the gun because our first child was due Thanksgiving, and he came a few days late. Came in around Turkey Day. Excuse me, he was due on Turkey Day. Came in just after the 3rd. So he came in the 3rd of December, and so we had only a couple weeks left in our old place before we then wanted to redo that a little bit. But we moved into this new place, and that house was just. That was. I was there every night. I was there every weekend. I did a ton of the work myself, but I had crews in there, and we just blasted through that house. That was over a $200,000. It was about a $200,000 rehab, right around there. So yeah, a lot of fun. Matthew Paris, 11K kitchen. Yeah. 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 Rob Cook, helping my 33-year-old son get into the landlord biz. Very cool. He already has 25 units in the past. Holy shit balls. Rob, good for you, my man. Man, that's awesome. Already has 25 units in the past 6 months. Wow. And all with 30-year fixed Fannie Mae loans on them. Very good for him. Smart boy. Yeah, clearly. That's great that you helped him. Understood real estate income growth. Yep. But my rentals are predominantly low cost, where wage growth is not likely to be significant. Yep, sure. Or even Rob, even eliminated, right? Even eliminated by machines, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, totally get it. Yep, totally get it. Let's see. Rob Cook, agree towards college value. Yep. I have changed 180 on recommending college. Yep. For most young people, unless they're in fields like law, medicine, or engineering, where the undergraduate degree is a prereq. Yeah. Even on the engineering side, I got to be honest, Rob, like there's so much free stuff out there and like Google University and all this stuff that's out there. Man, you can absolutely crush on some of that stuff and get a great job and not have potentially a 4-year degree. So I just think that colleges are largely making themselves obsolete because they're becoming these political centers as opposed to, really learning a craft. And, quite frankly, I'm an executive at a software company and I've been in software for 25, almost 25 years. And I worked my way up through. And yeah, I've seen a lot of guys with really impressive degrees eat my dust. A lot of them. A lot of them. I should have an entire wall made up of Ivy League flags of people that have completely just bypassed in the line because it's about results. It's about results. And that paper is supposed to teach you what you need to know about the business so you can get those better results. But quite frankly, my approach, I think, differed because I was a ninth grade dropout. And so I just looked at things differently, had a different, unique perspective. And yeah, there was a Fortune 50 company that I interviewed for. There were 1,000 applicants, and I got the job. And I was a ninth grade dropout. And I don't have a high school diploma. I don't have a college diploma. Nothing. And I got the job. And I asked the guy. I said, "Why'd you give me the job?" He goes, "You won't quit." He goes, "You're going to fight every inch. You're going to fight. You're just going to fight. And your track record shows that you're a fighter and a winner." I couldn't ask for kinder words to be said, and he wasn't wrong. I was a fighter and a winner. And so I then had to tell him I wasn't taking the job. I felt so bad because they said yes to me, but they got to say yes to the next guy in line. So, but yeah, that was over 1,000 people applied for that job, and so I totally agree with you. I think that college is becoming more and more obsolete. Matthew Paris was saying you won't make fun of, yeah, 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 but you won't make fun with you. Yeah, it's true. I won't make fun of people, but I like to make fun with people. It's just fun. It's a good conversation. Um, oh, there he is. Hey, Don. Sorry, Professor Lumberjack wife wanted to go look at properties. Dude, all good. All good. I love it. This is my biggest challenge with YouTube is I love doing it. I love helping people. I love sharing with people. We got really busy lives. And so I try to isolate it, trying to, I'm kind of like 6 hours a week, so I have 3 hours here on Sundays, maybe a little bit more. And then an hour with Mike on Tuesdays, an hour with Dion and Mike on Thursdays, and then an hour with Mike on Fridays. And we'll be doing some more content for sure. We'll be doing some more content for sure on our own. Hold on one second. Contractor. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, Don, no worries. I go look at property every time. Go look at property every time. So yeah, go look. Richard McGuff, will you renew to a family with 3 kids and criminal records? Would I renew? I don't. I mean, I don't think we look at that. I don't think we look at that. I think it really comes down to the financial box. That's what it really comes down to. It comes down to the financial box. For us, we have the same model for housing as we do for the housing authority. We have the same model for housing authority as we do for non-housing authority, non-Section 8, non-voucher. So we have exactly the same model, exactly the same numbers. I can tell you that with housing, 19 out of the 20 people that they sent me didn't fit in the model. And I mean, even this last week, we had on the three bedroom that we just rented, we had 13. I think we had 13. We had 13 people apply, or 13 people see it. I think 4 people apply. And the person that we picked was the one who had a credit score above our minimum threshold, 680, and had the income. It fit our model from an income perspective. They made so ours is 30%. So yeah. Yep. I don't discriminate. It's the numbers. It's the numbers. Don, what return do you look for? The properties we went and looked at were for a total of $1 million and income of $11,700 a month. Okay. Oh, Don, I mean, 13.6 to 16% cash on cash return is freaking. I mean, what's your market, man? So, Don, I don't know your market, but what I would do is a typical deal 10 points. If a typical deal is 10 and you're getting 13 to 16, yeah. If your market is one of those weird markets where it's like 20% on every deal, then that's light. I probably wouldn't do that. So I would just base it. So I love those numbers. 13.6 to 16% cash on cash return is amazing, I think. But it has to be where it compares to what you're typically going to see in that market. For me, because right now, so my last 3 deals, the worst one is 23%. The worst one was 23%. So, and I mean, there were a couple of other deals I liked. I liked the property and I was like, oh, I like this property, kind of like getting attached to the property. And I was like, kind of like this property, and the numbers just weren't there. And kind of like Mike won't say it this way, but I will. I'm a whore. I want to get paid. I want to get paid. My capital needs to get paid. My money babies, I want them having more babies. And the only way that you can do that is with return. So yeah, for me, I'm just all about, what that return is on capital. Like I said, one of the deals that I did when we close in 3 weeks, my return on capital with existing rents is going to be 23%. When I raise them to market, it's going to be over 40%. They completely mispriced that house. Thank God they did. I got an amazing deal. But yeah, amazing deal. Amazing deal. Hey, if any of this stuff is helpful, guys, give me the thumbs up, please. If it's helpful. If it's not helpful, give me better guidance down below. If it's not helpful, it's because your questions are bad. Just kidding. Sort of. Jeremy Kirkwood. Okay, the place that I am taking pictures at is 3,000 square feet, Victorian, turn of the century. Okay, certainly feel appropriate on Halloween. Had to really take a deep breath before going into the basement. Come on. Thanks for talking me through. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Power on, Jeremy. Nothing's going to get you in that basement. Except for that right there. Just kidding. You'll be fine. Karen Molnar. Thank you, Matt. I will look for that video you did driving, but we'll check out later. Yeah, sure. Cool. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you, Karen. Thanks very much for the question. Karen's part of a very valuable demographic that we have here on Lumberjack Landlord. She's one of like 9 women that watch. It must be something I said. Yeah, I'm horrible. I'm a lot to take. I get it, guys. I get it. I totally get it. All right. Waleed Al-Hamidi. Hopefully I get your name right. Waleed, welcome to the channel. What do I tell a tenant? If I need to kick someone out from my house hack with FHA loan, and if they have an existing lease, I can't, right? I will tell you what I did. Okay? I will tell you what I did. And this is completely legal, but you have to be telling the truth. You have to be telling the truth. You can't lie. Can't lie. So I will tell you what I did because it was the truth, or what one of my students did. He made as part of the deal that he wanted to get into one of the units. The landlord talked to a couple of people that had leases that were expiring in the next few months and said, hey, are you interested in leaving early? And that was a conversation they had. I have no idea what the end result of that conversation was. One guy was like, yep, I was planning on moving anyway. And so I'll just leave. And maybe they kicked them. I don't know if they kicked them any money, but you certainly can. The big thing is that if you own the property, or when you buy the property, right? So when you buy the property, you can then serve a notice in my state, right? So they then served them a notice saying that they were going to upgrade the unit. They were going to rehab the unit. And so the tenant had 60 days to move. That is a law in our state of New Hampshire. I don't know if it is where you are, but in our law, or in our state law, we are allowed to do that. And so it was true. They did go into the unit and they redid the entire unit. Floors, walls, trim, doors, cabinets, toilet. They redid electrical. They redid everything. So it was the God's honest truth. That's what they did. And so I don't know about your state. I would check to a tenant attorney or an attorney that handles real estate. And I would just try and find out what that provision is. My recommendation would be, because you never want to lose money on that rental again, my recommendation to you would be serve that type of, ask the conversation, try and make it part of the deal. If for some reason that you can't make it part of the deal, then see if that rehab option is available to you. In some states, it might be 30 days. In some states, it might not exist. I honestly don't know. But in New Hampshire, that does exist, and you just have to be honest, and you have to follow through and actually rehab it, which my guy did, and the place is beautiful. Honestly, before it was kind of a dump, and I told him that too, but now it's beautiful. And so looks absolutely amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. And so he spent about 60 days or so rehabbing it. And he then has an inspection with the bank because they withheld some money from him because they said that the flooring was deteriorated. Like, what a bunch of crap. I saw the flooring and it wasn't deteriorated. It was dirty. It was just plain old dirty. But leave it to an appraiser and not know what they're talking about. So hopefully that helps you. Rob Cook. True, RE College. Yep, skills are more important. My son is electrical engineer, and his salesmen make $600K, and were prior enlisted military hackers. Palo Alto. Oh, very cool. And do not have college degrees. He supports them. Yep. Yep. I can tell you software sales, if you're good at it. Otherwise, you're like a lot. I mean, it's kind of like real estate agents, right? Like, what's the average real estate agent make? Like $50,000. But if you're good at it, like, there's plenty of guys right now making 350 to, 650. Plenty of them in my market. In my market, there's plenty of them, and they're top 1%. They're the best. They're the best. And I mean, imagine what that's like in New York, right? In some of these places where you get a $20 million sale. So yeah, I agree with that. Dawn, my current return are really infinite, but I have all of my cash out of my current rentals. Based on returns, I'm getting 38 to 40. Well, geez, I'm Dawn. Dawn, that's freaking awesome. That's really awesome. Those numbers are fantastic. Yeah. So Dawn, correct me if I'm wrong, but so you had asked a question about building a fourplex because you couldn't find any decent deals. So let's talk about that a little bit. Same problem I have. The only issue that I have is to build anything is $300 a foot. So if I'm building a 2-bedroom, let's just say it's 700 square feet. And I'm 700 times 4, so I'm 28. 2,800, 300 a foot, so I'm 840. 840K. I am not going to be able to support. That'd be really tight in my market. To support that number, because the taxes is where they get you in New Hampshire, because we don't have an income tax, we don't have a state sales tax, so taxes is where they get you. So yeah, so that's what I would say. Yeah, yep, that's what I would say. I would say that yeah, I mean 800. So I mean, you're probably going to. Yeah, not here. I want to answer that question since I just saw it pop up, Don. So 135 a foot? What the hell? That's finished? 135 a foot? Lot 50K? Oh, yeah. Any lot here that you can build a 4-unit on is over 200. Over 200 grand here. Any lot that you can build a 4 on is 200. Tap fees, 30K, 33K. Okay. Yep. So our tap fees are, and just so everyone knows what a tap fee is it's usually the cost to getting on public water and sewer and the cost per unit. And so a tap fee is, so if you're 4 units, 33, so you're 4, so you're about 9,000, 8,500 a unit for tap fees. Yeah, we're about the same. We're 9 to 10K. But the big difference for us is I'm not getting a lot for $50,000. My lot's going to cost me 200, and 135 a foot. I'm going to be way more. I'm in Pueblo, Colorado. I'm looking at 4.76 acres zoned R5 for 250K. So what's the R5? I don't know what R5 is where you guys are. What kind of density does that give you? What kind of density does R5 give you there? Because we have all our zoning is all different. We do have. I don't even think we have R5. Rob Cook, I am blown away by the cash on cash returns you mentioned. I usually am glad to get 10% in relatively cheap market I operate in, and probably about 6% return. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's right. It's really market driven. It just is. And I did all the evaluation. We were even in the high single digits, low double digits, kind of consistently, and then it's gotten hyperdrive in the last few years. But That's why I picked this market. I picked this market that I'm in. I picked it 14 years ago, and I was right. Lucky and blessed and all those things, but I was right. Dawn, multi-high density. Oh, okay. Wow. So how many 4 units can you get on that? Or do they want you to build even bigger? I wouldn't build bigger though. Are you able to subdivide it? Sorry, I'm asking a bunch of questions. That's really interesting. Rob Cook, I use usually 75 to 80% loan to value leverage. Yep. And account a full 40% pro forma expenses. Okay. And I've done well on those relatively poor returns and CFs. Yep. Long-term holds are the key. Yep. With or without appreciation. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, this is where, Mike and I and Dion, we always talk about time in the market is better than time in the market. Even if I hadn't guessed right with the right market, even though I did, and I guessed wrong with some properties. I mean, again, that time, right? So $17,000 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, $17,000 was my down payment for a duplex. And now I have pulled out sorry guys, contractor. 1 second. Electrician was just letting me know that he had to go in a crawl space. It's dirt floor. Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry, buddy. Hazard pay. So yeah, whatever I was saying. So that's $17,000 down. I pulled $500,000 cash out of that building. I mean, well, pulled out and net rental income. So pulled out $500,000 and rental income net is $500,000 in 10 years. I mean, it's 10 years. That's the way it goes. Yes on subdividing. Damn. That's an awesome deal. Yeah, like that stuff doesn't exist where we are. That stuff just doesn't exist. Any land like that exists. So I did one, I was looking at it, and it was 11 lots. Yeah, I looked at it, and when it was all said and done, the road was going to cost me $700,000 to put the road in, because that city has extremely high threshold for what they'll allow you to put in for a road. $750,000 for the road. And so with the 11 lots, I couldn't make the numbers work. Because the land was a couple $100,000. The road was, $75,000 a house. Like, I was going to have $110,000 into a single family lot. And that was before we ran a bunch of stuff. Nah, cleared the land, all that other stuff. And I'm not a developer, but that number was enough to scare me. So, Dawn, good luck, buddy. Just don't want viewers to think they have to find 20% COC deals to succeed. No, Rob, you're dead on. So exactly what Rob said is perfect. This is why you understand your market, know your market. Rob has made it work for decades. His son's now making it work hardcore. 25 units in 6 months. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And I think we just did 12, 21. I think we just did 30 units in 6 months. So he's crushing it. Maybe a little bit more, but he's crushing it. Cool. Sorry, contractor. We had a heating system die. Way it goes. And the problem is the heating system is a Utica. It's 30 years old, and I can't get the parts for it. Son of a bitch. Oh, so I got to put a new one in. If I can't readily get parts, yank it, put a new one in. Oh, well. Say la vie. So, yeah. So, guys, so what Rob said, 100% right. Look at your market. Understand what the return on capital is or yield is in your market, and you can make it work on 6% or 7% returns. It's just skinnier. It's just skinnier. It's going to take you longer time to build it. But if that's where you live and that's local, that's where I would be. That would be my choice. Don, Rob Cook. I paid $53K for each of my houses in 2016, now worth $195 each. Damn, that's awesome. I have to get more debt to depreciate. If not, going to have to pay taxes. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Rob Cook. Yep. Don, appreciation is a big bonus, but I do not model it into my acquisition analysis. Yep. Missed millions as a result of that approach, but I'm safe. Yeah. So Rob, 100%. I don't account for appreciation at all. Yeah. And Don's exactly right. Appreciation, icing on the cake. Yep. I usually get the call about a failed system when I'm at the airport leaving on travel. That's so true. I don't travel anymore. That's the only reason that doesn't happen to me anymore. Oh, oh yeah, Rob, you're so right. Oh, so freaking right. That's so funny. There's water down there for sure. Home said they could get to the washer. Can't be that bad. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, haha. No issues for months, and then the day I leave. Yeah, no kidding. So, this tenant, so I just bought this building 5 or 6 months ago, rehabbed a couple of units. Saw a tag on there that was a service tag. I bought this off market, no inspections, but I bought it really right. So I was like, I know there's going to be some crap I'm going to have to take care of. Whatever. Now there's some crap I have to take care of. So again, I figured honestly, what I really legitimately what I counted on was replacing 3 out of the 5 heating systems. That's what I counted on. So the fact that we only have one, it's fine. It's like $5,500 to replace what's in there. So it's not bad. I haven't spent a ton of money on that building. Rehabbing the one unit, I'm like 10 or 12 into the 2 units, I'm like 10 or 12 into them total. And that was kitchens, floors, paint, trim, spraying the bathtubs, toilet. Yeah, so not bad. Not bad. So yeah, it's fine. Listen, you buy I bought a $350,000 house. It appraised for 4, or $350,000 5 unit. It appraised for 4. And when I'm finished with the rents that I'm going to get there, it's worth $550. I'll take the deal all day long. And so my mortgage on it is like $255. And so I think my mortgage it's less than $2,000 a month with tax. It's $2,000 a month with taxes. Income is $6,000. Yeah, no brainer. I'll do it. I'll take that deal every day. I'll take that deal every day. Hold on one second. 3 25. I just want to pay this guy, guys. So give me just 1 second. He just sent me a text saying he was finished the work. And so he sent me a few pics. So I just want to pay him. Because I believe as soon as you're done, you should pay. And the job was done. Job's done. He finished. He did a good job. Gets paid. That's simple. So pay him online. Take care of your contractors, guys. That's the way. That's the best way to grow your business. It really is. It really is. Okay, lots of questions. Good. Okay, Mark Mosley. Okay, do you rent houses out? I get £16,000 disability and my rent paid. Are you in the UK? Mark, thanks very much for asking. I am not in the UK. I am not in the UK, and I don't have any rentals in the UK. We are in New England, not Old England. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate you asking. Shame me or bless. Do you use non-QM loans? I'm in the process of using a non-QM. Yep. It's my first non-QM. So far, the process has been great. I've been using Steve Dow at Velocity Mortgage. I met him through Mike. Honest, fair, took me through all the numbers. Seems like a good fit for the deal that I'm working on. And I'll let you guys know when I close it. So yeah, I've not closed a deal with a non-QM, but I'm working through the process with a non-QM. How long after you purchase a property with a conventional can you use a non-QM? Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any timeline. That question would be best used. So let me give you that. Let me get you that. So, I'll give you Steve's email. So Steve's email is sdao@velocitymortgage.com. sdao@velocitymortgage.com. Just let him know Lumberjack Landlord sent you. And that way he has a point of reference. Because he'll talk about, a lot of stuff that we do, and he'll kind of, that way he's not going to, tell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need to know. But he'll tell you all the stuff you do need to know. And so, yeah, Steve, my experience with Steve has been great. He's been super fantastic. Super fantastic. Yeah, really been good. Give me 1 second. Then one other contractor. Just a moment, because I do see questions there that I want to answer. Hell, sorry. Gosh darn it. Okay, so all right. So the non-QM question, yeah. I don't think there's any timeline. I would ask Steve Dow. I gave you his email, but he should be able to help you. Mark Mosley, good on you. You need more You need money to make money. Yeah, you do. It's true. Banks. So banks treated me like pariah for a number of years. Maybe it was my personality. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I just have to pay this vendor. I want to make sure that they get the money. There we go. Okay. Wait. Cool. All right. Let's see. Don, any news on cabinets? Nope. If you talked about it earlier, I'm rewatching anyway. No, I didn't. I don't have any news on the cabinets. So I did tell last week, Don. I'm not sure if you're able to watch, but $50,000 worth of cabinets I was willing to pre-buy, 1% discount. 50 grand, 1% discount. I was like, no, that's just dumb. Come on. And that was even me willing to buy them up front so I could get you guys a deal. No, not for 1%. Screw that. So I'm still working on it. But yeah, I'm working on it. Rob Cook, Don, a house I bought in Arlington, Virginia. Okay, for 165. Oh my goodness, I bet that thing's worth a fortune. Arlington, Virginia for 165 in January 2000. It's still owned, accounting for appreciation or rent and 300K in taxes, insurance, and repairs have already needed over $1 million on it. Yeah, I bet. That's awesome. So guys, time in the market is better than timing the market. Big difference. Rob Cook, again, a big bonus indeed. Yep, and an exception, not my typical. Yeah, but that's Rob. How many of those do you need to become worth 7 figures? Like that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about becoming millionaires. So if we're talking about becoming millionaires, how many $1 million deals do you need to become a millionaire? One. How many deals do you need to become a multimillionaire if they're $1 million deal? 2. And that's the cool thing. I mean, we're not talking about having to build a portfolio of 90 plus units like me and be a jackass. Our margins are crazy high because a lot of times we'll buy crap and we'll make it beautiful. I will always buy C-class properties in A and B areas. I will never buy an A-class property in an A-class area because that's retail's retail. I will not buy a A-class property in a C-class area. So I buy A, B, and C quality product. I'll buy an A-class product in a B-class area. I will do that because I can probably get more rent than what they're getting. The deal that I just did is $3,400 a month is what they're getting. Man, I wish I had my book. $3,400 a month is no. Okay. Perfect. Hey, if my electrician's willing to climb underneath that house in a dirt basement and in a crawl space after a bunch of rain, He gets my attention. I mean, good people, good people, good people. Sorry. Oh yeah. So sorry. Those rents, $3,400 a month. When I'm done, it's probably closer to 5,500. Probably closer to 5,500. No problem. And hey, if any of this information is valuable to you, give me a thumbs up, please. Make sure I'm on the right track. Mark Mosley. I make money on trading the software buys when low and sells. When they rise, it sells. Thank you. Welcome, Mark. Julie Anderson. Julie, I think I missed a comment from you up above where you said woman here. I think I missed that because I saw the word woman. Hold on 1 second, Julie. I think I missed it. Between Rob and Don going back and forth, being all smarty pantses. Teasing you guys. It was good. That's what we do the show for, is to create that opportunity. Yeah, Julie Anderson, woman here. You are very civilized. Thank you. I promise no pulling of fingers. Yeah. I'm such a child. I just like to have fun. And this isn't rocket science. But I like helping folks. So hopefully it's helpful. How did you and Dion and Dion and Lumberjack get together? So we got together through Mike. Because I think Dion, Dion was on Bigger Pockets. Dion does a lot of stuff on Bigger Pockets. Really good content on his own channel too. And so they had done something together. And then I said to Mike, hey, would love to do something, because I really like Dion's segments. I was like, hey, would love to do something with you and Dion. And I said, he's like, so 3 of us? I was like, yeah, would you ever consider it? And he's like, yeah. So we did it, and the Three Amigos was born. So kudos to Mike for being willing to do that on his channel. But yeah, it's been so much fun, but that's how we got connected. And then I did a couple of videos for just Dion. I know Mike and he do some videos together. It's a very open relationship with the ugliest threesome on the internet. But yeah, that's how we got together. And it's a blast. Yeah, they're just good people, man. Good people. It's been such a blessing to be part of that community. All the support from my daughter has been amazing, who is going through chemo. So the support's been amazing, but it gives me a chance to think about the business, a little bit, which is important. I spend a lot of time at night by myself when everyone else is sleeping. I spend a lot of time. And so you kind of poring over those things, learning some of those things, and being able to share with people. I mean, I'm a 9th grade dropout. I had every reason to fail. I had every reason to be a poor for the rest of my life. And I'm just super blessed to have, had some great opportunities in my life. I worked really, really hard. And thankfully it's worked out. And so I didn't have any real mentors. I had a couple, but none in the business world. And so that was really hard. And so I made mistakes and worked really hard. But it's just, so anything that I can do that, if I've been through it and I make a mistake, I put it out there, let people know, hey, I made this mistake too. Because I want them to be encouraged. Sorry. I was wondering why that itched. It's because I've got a hole in my shirt. I'm such a hillbilly. Oh, lumberjack. So that's how we got connected, and it's been a blast. I love working with them. Shamir Blessed, thanks for the email. We'll reach out. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, honestly, really good. Steve Dow is just one of those. Yeah, really good. Yep. Mark Mosley. Rob, when you have to pay taxes, some people get receipts to say they had to do work on a property to keep taxes down. Yep. Yeah. So I think, anybody, bye. All good health to everyone in the USA. Thank you for having me. Mark, really appreciated having you. Love the questions. We want an open community and people able to talk about and ask about any of the questions that they have, certainly when it comes to real estate. But yeah, so I use guys that we don't necessarily 1099 because we leave that up to them if they want to pay taxes, and we leave that up to them where they get to decide, what they want to do there. Because it's just for like little projects here and there. And it's like, I think the limit's like $2,000 or something like that. So for little super small stuff, but yeah, outside of that, everything else has a receipt, yeah. If it's licensed work, yeah, same thing. Like in our state, you don't have to have a license to be a GC, but you do have to have a license for electrician. You have to have a license for plumbing. So, but yeah, sometimes we have a contractor who's like, oh yeah, hey, just come off this other job. Did you have anything? We always try and send some stuff to folks, always. Rob Cook, Mark, the 300K was real estate and taxes on the house over 20 years. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Rob Cook, that Arlington house was a structural scare, clay soil. Oh, so I was not afraid. It has not moved in 21 years. The sellers were scared and sold it cheap to get out. I do this a lot. I'm a builder too. Oh man, you builders, you sons of bitches. Hold on one second. Contractor. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Okay. Rob. Ha. Yeah. Don, don't be a hater. Yeah. Do you buy properties all over NH, Manchester NH? Do you buy 5+ unit property? I don't buy in Manchester anymore. I do have guys that I work with that buy 5 units. So, man, I can't wait to show you guys what I built. I built it at 2:00 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. So between 2 and 4:30 in the morning, I built this awesome pump system. Oh, it's awesome. Anyway, sorry. So Shamir, I don't buy all over NH. I don't buy in Manchester. I know a lot of guys that do. Do you buy 5 unit property? I do. 5+ unit? Yeah, I do. Yep. I just bought a 12 and I bought a 9. Yep. In fact, if you heard my 8 deals that Mike announced, I thought it was so funny the way he did it. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just like, oh, hey, because he had mentioned something about the cards, and I was like, oh, that's right. I haven't sent him that stuff yet. And so, yeah. So I do buy 5 unit, buy anything, all that stuff. Yep. Buy it all. Julian Anderson. Whoops. That's what I meant. Julian. 17 doors. I'm a bit north of Dion. Yeah. So, that's awesome. 17 doors. That's great. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that's enough doors to retire young. It just is. Just for me, I just really enjoyed. I really got into it, and it became like adult Monopoly for me. So I always loved the game as a kid, and it just became like that in real life. And I loved, we had friends where they couldn't afford market rent, And so we've tried to help families out and do all that stuff. And so we know that's why we're, you know, a large reason why we're successful as we've done is because we've helped, you know. Rob Toyer, how much do you need in reserves for the bank to approve a loan with 20% down? I have the down payment, but I'm not sure I want to drop my savings to less than 10K. So it depends on, so that will vary lender to lender. That will vary lender to lender. So what I would do is I would just shop them. So here are the 3 things that you need to have ready. One is you need to have your, you know, basically an account showing your deposit, right? Second thing you need is an account showing your reserves. Third thing is you are going to want to show them your W-2 and then what your expenses are. And then as part of that deal, they will also count, if you're going FHA, I believe they will count either 80 or 85% of the rent of that building towards your costs on that building. So make sure you're working with a lender that understands that and that helps investors, that helps an investing buyer. That's what you're looking for. That's who you're trying to find. Not your typical single family resi, owner occupied, one family, you know, single family home. That is not the person you're looking for, because they're going to be stumbling through the process. They're not going to know to kick the, you know, underwriter in the teeth when they're being dumb or saying stupid things or doing the wrong thing. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would just call a bunch of them. I would get a copy of your credit score, maybe like a Credit Karma or freeannualcreditreport.com. And then talk to them about what that is. You know, this is my credit score, generally speaking. Some of your credit cards might have it too. But that's a pretty lax score. And a lot of places, they're still going to need to run your credit, but just say, this is what my credit is, no late payments or yes, late payments, but just set the scenario for them. Don't have them pull credit. And then just find out which one of them is best suited to meet your need as an investor. That's what I would do. That was for Rob. That's what I would do. You're just looking for the right vendor. That's what you're looking for. The real one. How do you continue to house hack after getting your first one? The first is easy, but getting more is way harder if you don't have 25%. It's not. Watch my video 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch my video 4, 3, 2, 1, and I tell you exactly how to do it. Yeah. So the real one, watch that video and then message me on that video. Leave me a note because I look at all the notes. Or try to. It sometimes takes a few days. But the real one, that's how so I lay that entire thing out there. It's like 15, 20 minutes long. I think it's 15 minutes long. But take a look at that and then message me or let me know. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So you can buy the next one. So when you move, basically the rule is you do the next one owner occupied. You can refi the existing one that you have, your first one. You can refi that into a conventional loan, and you can, you know, a lot of times you can get rid of PMI depending on the improvements that you've made, depending on the rents that you've increased after that year, etc. But then when you're buying the next one, you don't have to buy it 25% down if you're hacking. If you're hacking and you're moving into it, you can still buy it with a 5% down mortgage. In fact, with the new rules, you can buy it with a 3.5 or 3% down mortgage. If you are just buying it purely as an investment property and not hacking and not moving into it, there are some programs coming that will be 5 and 10%. So you can. It's the issue you might be running into is your lender. That's usually the problem. Is that certain lenders don't do certain types of loans because they don't package those well. And so basically your mortgage gets sold. And so they don't bundle that type of stuff. And so it becomes an outlier for them if that's not the book of business that they're going after. So then they don't get a very good package when they then sell those mortgages. I watch it after getting my first 2-family. Good. Yeah. Yeah. And you can you can still get into probably another 2. Maybe with some of the new rules coming on conventional, you might be able to go up to a 3 or maybe a 4. But you have to find a mortgage broker that's willing to work with you. And that just depends on your market. So I would look for mortgage companies and that represent like 4 or 5 or 6 different badges or logos. And I would also look for a local area bank with probably 3 to 7 locations. That's who I would look at for talking to them about that loan. Those are the ones that are going to give you the best chance of getting a deal done, for sure. Shamir, 21 units, congrats. Excellent. Shamir, bless. I own 2 doors, and I look every day at the market. I buy in mass. Okay. Always want more property. What's your market? Shamir, would love to know. I went to your website to contact you, but didn't see anything or way to run things by you. So you can reach me at lumberjacklandlord@gmail.com. And I'm behind on those emails, so I apologize in advance. But lumberjacklandlord@gmail.com is how you get me. That's how you get this lumberjack to get you back. Obviously, we're usually much better. I'm usually much better at returning messages, but I've been doing a lot of single dad duty with my daughter going down to chemo, so it's been a little tight in the last 70 weeks. But big scan tomorrow, guys. So thoughts and prayers, we really appreciate. Big scan tomorrow. We find out how my daughter's responding to the treatment and how she's responding to prayer. So we're very excited to see tomorrow happen. But yeah, that's that. So I see that we've gone over our 3-hour mark. Thanks, Don. I appreciate that. And Don, good luck on your deal, man. That's a big deal. I'd lose sleep over that deal. I'd be so excited. I can't remember the last lot that came available here that was buildable, that you could build, multis on. Oh, what a bummer. What such a bummer. The real one, thank you very much for the prayers. We appreciate that. Yeah, we're excited for the scan tomorrow for the MRI, and just praying that we start to see the results of that miracle happening. So, John Williams, you're very welcome for the 3 hours. It was my pleasure, guys. I really enjoy this time that we have on Sundays. It's good to stay in the game, get my mind off things, and help out people however we can help them out. If you wouldn't mind on your way out, wiping your feet on the mat and giving me some thumbs ups, I'd really appreciate it. Western Mass. Okay. Western Mass, Ludlow, Springfield. Yeah. So I've been there. I've been to MGM a few times. Loved that trip there. I had no idea it was basically like a microtel, which is like 55 rooms. But yeah, don't know that market at all. Rob Cook, appreciate the work you put into sharing. Yeah. Good luck with your daughter. Thank you very much, Rob. I appreciate that, guys. All right, guys. Thank you very, very, very much. Like I said, if you can give me a thumbs up before you leave, I'd appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great time. If you're trick-or-treating tonight, have a great time and stay safe. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday on One Rental at a Time with Mike Zuber. Thanks, guys. Take care.